Mr. Angelos has been great here. Yeah, they haven't duplicated the success that these gentlemen produce, but they're on their way with Dan Duquette and Buck. And the Angelos family deserves a lot of credit. I'll never be able to thank them enough, and I don't know about the gentlemen there, but I think they feel the same way. This naturally is a dream come true. My wish now is to come back and watch Buck manage in playoff games in World Series.
The 6 greatest Orioles being recognized this season, and today it was number 4 in the midst of all of the others whose sculptures are being unveiled. Today it belonged to Earl Weaver. His day at Camden Yards. It's the Orioles on Bassett and on Earl Weaver's day, where number 4 is being recognized eternally to be remembered. In the sculptures in the picnic area here at Camden Yards, it's the Indians and the Orioles in Game 3 of this 4-game set, locked at 1 apiece so far. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Thorne, and these days are so emotional and so important, both for the honorees who are being recognized and for the fans who come to see that, and for the players and other honorees who are here as part of something that can only happen once. This is only going to go down one season. And then those sculptures that are unveiled out there in the area are there for fans to see forever. And that is what struck Earl Weaver and all of us today when he talked about, I am going to be remembered forever. That kind of set in here today. And why not? Oh, my gosh. What he did here in Baltimore with the teams that he had, the .583 winning percentage, the 4 American League pennants, including, of course, the World Series championship that he got in 1970. 6 Cy Young Award winners on the staffs that he managed. Won 20-plus games, 22 times those pitchers, and 35 Gold Glove winners played under the Earl of Baltimore. He is, of course, an inductee in the Baseball Hall of Fame, 1996. And one of those great pitchers, of course, our own Jim Palmer, who's going to be recognized later on this season himself, pitched under the direction of Earl Weaver. Jim talked about Earl today.
Earl didn't want you to be his friend. He just wanted you to go play hard. There wasn't anything, with a couple of exceptions, that you could ever say to Earl Weaver if he thought you were the best player that meant that you weren't going to be in the lineup. And he was a very loyal guy. He would never overtly tell you that. But if you ever played well for him and did it over a period of time, he was going to give you every chance to fail, and that's all you can ask from a manager.
All 6 of us, are so proud that we're going to be in the ballpark here for, I guess, as long as the ballpark's going to stand, and that you think that a great-grandfather is going to say to his son, I used to come out here and see them.
That's what we were talking about. It was pretty amazing when you think about that. For any human being to think, something? People are going to come and look at a statue of me, and they may ask who it is, but somebody's going to have an answer, and the question's going to be asked and answered forever. We'll be back. Jim will be joining us here as we get set for Game 3 and more on Earl Weaver, who said, hey, they made me look like Buck. Earl Weaver today. And Jim, among the many celebrities who was out there, will have his own day like this. But for the moment, at least, what Jim Palmer gets to think about is what went on here today. Very nice.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's Earl Weaver. And then I get, sit next to Cal, and between Cal and Eddie Murray, pretty special. Frank Robinson, the greatest hitter I ever played with, 586 home runs. But Earl got here Thursday, Gary, and Thursday night the Indians hit 2 3-run home runs. The Orioles last night, they win, and what does Matt Wieters do? He hits a 3-run home run. So I know they knew him, that he had come from Florida into the state of Maryland. But, I said, what's that pose? And he kind of told everybody, but of course he didn't tell us at that particular time. I said, oh, no, is that another? How did Palmer ever throw that pitch? He said, well, it could have been, but he said it was actually when we used to have that little field and we used to work on all the drills and the situational things. Because I think if you look at the guys I was sitting next to, and I think Earl alluded to this, Frank and Eddie and, Cal and people like that, and then Bunbury and Buford were there and all that, terrific players. But we had a lot of other guys that were really good. Boog Powell won an MVP for Earl, tied a game with 2 outs to the 9th in the playoffs in '69. We didn't win the World Series, but we got there. So I think Earl understands that, he was a terrific manager, but we had great teams. And once you get around this, and mine's in a couple of weeks, you just start reliving really wonderful times. And, I was so lucky to be part of it. And it just kind of brings it back.
It does. And it is particularly appropriate that he would say that about that the sculpture takes the form of him watching on the little field fundamentals, because he talked about that again. He was about fundamentals. Even with great players such as yourself, you had to do the little things in addition to the big things that you knew how to do.
Well, we talk about accountability up here all the time, and Earl made you accountable. I mean, if you're a young player, this is what you're going to do. This is what I expect of you. And, we had a lot of talented players, but I still remember when I hurt my arm and we're at AAA and we had a 6-game lead and we lost 3 in a row, and he went right around that locker room. Davey May was leading the league in RBIs, or actually was, I think, batting average. He goes, you know what, you'll never get to the big leagues unless you have another good game today. Kurt Moden was in average. You know what, I don't care what your average was. And he went to the best players. And, he pushed me probably over the limit a little bit, but I'll tell you what, I never would have gotten to the Hall of Fame if he hadn't given me the opportunity to win and lose games. He trusted me, and he talked about that today, just as Buck Showalter does. You put your name in the lineup, and then Earl and Buck expect the players to understand what they need to do to win ball games.
And what the Orioles need to do to win ball games is have another game like they had last night with a few corrections made, perhaps as far as catching the ball is concerned. But the season is long. We thought we'd take a look at what the roller coaster baseball season can look like in the case of the Orioles. You look at how it started, April 14-9, final 9 games, tremendous. You come into May, they lost 8 of 10 games, had a run differential that dropped to a -12. Then you get into June, it started 8-4, the run differential becomes a +2, but since then they've lost 8 of 13, 10 straight games where they get 3 runs or less. Then they have the big 9-run outburst last night. The run differential goes to a -26. But when you put that whole thing together, the O's have been in a playoff position, either in the division lead or for a wild card, 79 of the 85 days thus far. We put that up there not as any kind of an excuse for anything that goes wrong in the field for the O's, but as a matter of fact, that's what a baseball season looks like, and it's getting out of those troughs and back up to where you want to be that makes the difference.
Well, you're right, and I played on teams that would win 95, 97 games, and through the first 85, we were 40 and 45. Earl would have a meeting that he'd always tell us in spring training, I picked the best 25 guys. So he has a meeting, he says, I think I might have made a mistake. I don't think that's the case here, but I think what has to have happened, and we saw it, the Orioles pitched real well. They won 2-0, 2-1, 2-1, or they don't win for their, last 12 games. Last night, a little aberration in the way they've been playing. They put 9 on the board. So the starters have to get better. I don't know if they're going to be able to tighten up the defense, but we saw it last night. It has to get a little bit better for them to contend all year long. The bullpen looks like they're maybe a little bit tired, and we kind of anticipate that. So hopefully Markakis will come back. Some guys will get healthy. And the one thing, they're in position, and you create a great point, Gary. I think Dan Dutet is going to be looking around to maybe add a player. Yeah, you'd like to have Nolan Reimold, terrific young left fielder, but he's out for the year. So I think we'll see some other guys in Oriole uniforms because for the first time in 15 years they have a chance to be a competitive ball club.
Yep. And you've got to have the starting pitching. We always go back to that. Danny Eveland has only had a start this season, only one. He's been in the bullpen. He's going to get another opportunity today. He himself would like to get back into the rotation. You take a look at what the season has looked like for Danny Eveland.
Well, yeah, Yeah, he tried to make the club out of spring training, went to the minor leagues. Now they like him because we saw him in Oakland. He went 9-9, pitched real well because there's a great pitching park there, not so well on the road. He's a big guy. He's left-handed. Cleveland does not match up against left-handers. Even to their credit, they beat Chen, a left-hander, on Thursday. So this is a great opportunity for him, and it's a great opportunity because other guys that have gotten the ball as starters haven't done their job. So again, he can pitch. He's pitched some good baseball, and his job, and it's pretty simple, just keep it close some way.
And how long he stays in the ball game, I asked Buck Showalter before the game today. Look, he's talking about throwing 85 pitches in this game. Buck said he did. Buck doesn't think he can get 85 today because he hasn't pitched enough and the weather's so hot. But he said, look, if he gets 80 pitches in, I'll be very happy. However, if he's pitching well and he's retiring guys, I'm not going to pull him out of there. The game's up to him as to how far he wants to go.
Well, he did pitch a couple of innings a couple of nights ago, and that's why I didn't think he was going to start. But again, do you match up? If Tommy Hunter had pitched today, you would have had 9 left-handers. This is a better matchup. Let's hope he pitches well. And then the numbers don't always tell the story, but let's hope that's the case today.
All right, the Orioles take the field. Earl Weaver will be joining us in the booth in the second inning. We'll talk about Earl on his day throughout our ball game tonight. But when we come back, it's Game 3, the Orioles and the Indians. Ball en masse is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. And by Jeep. Jeep and the unique brand of freedom you'll find only in the full line of Jeep vehicles. Visit Jeep.com to learn more. It is another warm one up and down the East Coast and in the middle of America as well. Take a look at our train game time temperature at 94 degrees. A little cooler than the 102 that we had starting last night's game. Visit train.com for an independent train comfort specialist dealer near you. It's hard to stop a train. And the starting lineup for the Indians brought to you by Dodge. Chu, Cabrera, Kipnis, Lopez will get a start. Bradley Duncan gets a start. Kochman, Marson, and Cunningham gets the start. You see Cabrera having the good series against the Orioles. See your authorized Dodge dealer and experience a world of performance, design, and fuel efficiency. Schedule a test drive or go to Dodge.com and check out their powerful lineup.
So our AFCIA Intelligent Report. Visit AFCIA.org, the Association for IT Pros. Well, second time around, Gary, you talked about this will be his second start. He's certainly, he can win. It's all about matchups. Cleveland, they're going to have, they're not going to play their prototypical lineup, but they will have 5 right-handers in there. Normally, there's a right-handed pitcher that have 9 lefties in there. And then, great opportunities. When you get the ball, when you pitch well last year for the Dodgers, also down at their AAA affiliate, and you get a chance to pitch here in the American League East on a team that needs good starting, seize it and run with it. Well, maybe because it's hot, try. You don't want to overheat.
Stay out there a long time. That's what you'd
I'm thinking it's 94. What was it, 101 or 2 yesterday?
Yeah.
But if you could just throw like the temperature, it would be so easy.
And let me say to a lot of folks in our listening area here who are watching on Masson or however they're doing it, we know a lot of folks, there was some serious damage done by the storms that went through last night, and their thoughts go to those families who've had some serious problems with it. And a lot of people are still without electricity around the area. Here is Chu, leadoff batter, and he goes after the first one, and he's got a base hit, and he's got a 5-game hit streak. Well, Chu continues to be one of the hottest hitters on this team now. That's going to be a 5 for 9 in this series.
Take a look at the Orioles defense. Avery with his first major league home run. He's in left. Jones, Chris Davis playing all over the place. He's in right. Flaherty moves from right to third. Hardy, Roberts, Betamete, who's red hot. And then Matt Wieters once again catching.
And that will bring up Asdrubal Cabrera. Cabrera with a 4-game hit streak, the switch hitter. He's hitting .299 right-handed, .289 left. 3 of his 11 home runs hit from this side of the plate. Chu, of course, does have speed over there with a couple of stolen bases. He's got 9 out of 10 on the year. And with Cabrera batting from this side of the plate, the opportunity to go presents itself for Chu if he wants to try and run. The delivery by Evelyn hit hard. That's a base hit. 2 pitches, 2 hits. And 2 on for the Indians with nobody out in the first inning.
And David Evelyn is not a high ball pitcher. Take a look. You can see ball belt high in the middle of the plate, very much like it was to Chu. So this is a team. They weren't scoring a lot of runs. 13 in 6 games. They scored 7, hit 3 home runs. Last night they scored 8. So with the weather heating up, so are they.
And that will bring up Jason Kipnis, their fine young second baseman. He's got a 3 for 8 in this series. 2 on, nobody out. And the third pitch of the ball game will miss outside for a ball. As we said, Evelyn should be the benefactor of the fact this team, as Jim mentioned, is 6-16 against left-handers. Their overall batting average against lefties an amazingly low .217. Right-handers they hit .268 against. Here's the 1-0 delivery to Kipnis. That one goes to left field. Avery's got a way to go. He started in, gets over, dives, makes the catch. Runner's got to get back. All the way from second to first. The throw is not in time. Avery aired it out all the way to Betamete because Cabrera had already gotten to second base.
And Chu was about to touch third. Otherwise, he would have gone back and tagged and went to third on that throw. But this is what Xavier Avery brings to the table. He can run. Al Bunbury, of course, he was a right-handed outfielder. That's what he brought. And then there's the toss, and Betamete can't quite get Cabrera, who somehow scampered back. What a play.
Here is Lopez. Jose Lopez getting the start at third base. Runners at first and second, still 1 away. So the ball club that has had trouble catching the ball starts this game out with an amazingly important early catch in left field by Avery.
Well, it's 1-0 with runners at second and third, and nobody out, and you face 3 hitters, and you've given up 3 hits if he doesn't catch that ball.
Lopez down to third. That's a fair ball, and it hits the bag. It will score Chu off the bag, and Lopez will get an RBI. And talk about a start to this game. We've had only 4 hitters up. We've already got a whole highlight reel.
Yeah, you got to imagine that Flaherty, Ryan's going to catch this ball. You can see Chu, he's not going anywhere. He's just going to catch this ball and probably tag third base. I don't think he's going to get a double play because it's hit slowly. But as it turns out, nobody out. Run in, runners at first and second.
Wow, Lopez will pick up his 24th RBI. And runners still at first and second, 1 away. Cabrera goes down to second base, and here is Brantley, the center fielder. Batted cleanup last night for the first time. Moves down now with a left-handed pitcher on the mound in the game. And the Indians take the early 1-0 lead. Brantley's hit .284 off lefties, .276 off righties. He's got a 2 for 3 lifetime against the Oriole left-hander. Evelyn's delivery, and that'll be a check swing that is in there for a strike. Mike Estabrook, home plate umpire, with the call. Brantley turns to ask him where it was, and a 1-ball 1-strike count.
Yeah, and if you're Buck Showalter, in fact, you're Oriole fans, Oriole players, you'd like Evelyn to get some outs because you really don't have a long man. Kevin Gregg would probably be your candidate, and he's been struggling as of late, last 4 appearances.
That's just going to miss outside. And a 2-ball 1-strike count. Tommy Hunter's name came up. Showalter today, and talking about what he's got for long people down there, but he really doesn't want to have to go.
Yeah, I overlooked him because he's not even on the list of bullpenners, even though I would assume he's available.
Yep. 2-1 delivery on the way, and a sweeping pitch that's going to be outside from Evelyn, and the count goes to 3-1.
Well, you know that Dana is trying to at least start that breaking ball on the plate and maybe get Brantley to chase, but when it starts already out of the zone, out of your hand, it's not a very competitive pitch in the sense that you don't have left-handers that are going to chase it at all.
There's the 3-1 delivery on the way to him. Came back inside and gets the high strike called, much to Brantley's dismay. And the count is 3-2.
Well, he's trying to be disciplined, and he's hoping this is, and it's last night was going to be a ball, but it must have caught the top of the strike zone.
Only 1 start for Evelyn, and all the way back to May 11 against Tampa Bay, non-decision, 3 runs, 5 hits, 6 innings in that ball game. 3-2 delivery, and he's walked him. So the bases are loaded as Evelyn surrenders the free pass. So the base is loaded, still only 1 away. Wieters goes out to have a word here. Run in. 3 hits in the inning so far. And the need for that ground ball right here to get that double play. Shelley Duncan gets the start against the left-hander. He's hitting only .213 against lefties and only .203 against right-handers for that matter.
And he's really struggled in the month of June, hitting barely over 200. Got a couple of hits last night, and of course Dana Evelyn has no idea where the ball's going. I mean, that does happen, but obviously the Indians are happy. Here comes Rick Adair. You just kind of wondered the 2 innings he pitched earlier in the week. Usually you would figure, because he does have a rubber arm, he's never really had too many health issues, that he would be able to come back.
This has been a very strange week for Dana Evelyn, with a lot of big pluses, not the least of which the birth of the couple's second child took place. He left the Orioles Saturday night to go to California for the birth of the baby. Came back Wednesday. His plane had to make an emergency landing in Las Vegas, so he missed a connecting flight. Still got back here in time for the game against the Angels Wednesday night, and that's what Jim was talking about. He worked 2 scoreless innings out of the bullpen. He threw 18 pitches, and now here he is making the start. Here's the 1-0 delivery, and the off-speed delivery is a called strike. That pitch up is going to be a strike.
Yeah, well, that's also the one that goes sailing, unfortunately. Hitters are looking for balls to where they don't have to leverage. I mean, that's hardly ever called a strike. But today, different umpire, different strike zone.
Duncan with the bases loaded. Here's the 1-1 delivery on the way, and that's ripped foul, just a strike into the seats. So and Evelyn will get ahead 1-2.
Yeah, he can't finish any of his pitches, even that changeup. Didn't fool him. It just the speed at 84. He's not a hard thrower. He's going to throw maybe 89 to 91 tops.
The Indians have been hitting the baseball over the last 4 games. The team's got a .300 batting average, and they've averaged 6 runs a game over the last 4. Here's the 1-2 delivery on the way, and that pitch fouled back into the screen. Duncan's got power. Tried to wind up on that one, and a 1-ball 2-strike count. He's had 6 doubles, 4 home runs on the extra base hits that he's picked up. Cabrera's the lead runner at third. Lopez down at second. Brantley on at first. Indians already have a run in. Trying to get more here in the first inning. 16 pitches thrown so far. Here's the 1-2 delivery, and a nice little breaking ball inside. Got him.
Well, for the moment, a huge pitch. Let's take a look at how he gets to that. So again, remember, he's not commanding his stuff, way outside. Here's the high strike that gets called, so it's back in the count. Rips it foul. Right there, has pretty good swing, but in enough, and then the good breaking ball finished. First one of the afternoon.
And our Kia Pitch Track brought to you by Kia Motors. To learn more, visit kia.com.
And what Casey Kochman did last night off of Troy Patton, first pitch swinging. You got to be careful.
Here's the delivery to him. Kochman against the lefties, 222, 231 against righties. Got some power. He has faced Evelyn before and has gone 2 for 4 against the Orioles left-hander. Cleveland trying to get more than one in. If Evelyn limits this to 1 run, he may give it up, but he's going to win the inning, and he's going to. Jones is right there, and he's got it. Somehow worked his way out of that. A run on 3 hits. The Indians leave the bases loaded. Orioles coming up. His sculpture unveiled. Earl will be joining us in the second inning. We'll have a chance to talk with him as the Indians have the 1-0 lead. Here's the lineup for the team described as the Go-Go-O's by their manager, Buck Showalter. It'll be Roberts, Avery, and Hardy, Jones, Benavides, and Davis, Wieters, Reynolds, and Flaherty. Flaherty, a good series. The Go-Go, 3 stolen bases last night, 6 in the last 4.
Well, it's all about matchups. You got to pick the right guy. Let's take a look at our FC Intelligence report. For Josh Tomlin, well, June swoon, 1-3 ERA, not where he wants it. Control artist, doesn't walk a whole lot of guys, so got a pitch to contact, and again has not pitched. His record's not that bad here, but ERA very high. One of his games, 3 home runs. So let's see how he's able to do. And there you go. And of course, we have a guy that last year won 12 games.
Big number against him, those numbers batting average wise. That one's going to be pulled foul. Brian Roberts has a 1 for 9 in the series so far. 282 lefties, 313 righties.
Yeah, look at the lefty numbers. The average lower, but the home runs up. I was talking to Justin Masterton, who's going to pitch tomorrow, and he was over there. He said, "What time's the game on Saturday?" And I said, "Oh, twilight, 4:07." He says, "I need that." Of course, it's not a bright day, so I'm not sure the shadows are going to affect the hitter and the pitcher.
Overcast skies today, not much of a breeze. Roberts will take it down low. This is the inning where Tomlin has had everything come apart on him. First innings have been very, very tough. ERA of over 11. He has the second highest first inning ERA going, and that's how it starts. Brian Roberts gets a leadoff walk.
Now there you go, and look at that batting average. And then, of course, you know, again, if you're a finesse guy, it's not that he doesn't have a plus arm, but he's a cutter guy. Of course, Scott Rosinski, his pitching coach, says, well, that kind of, you'll lose your extension on your fastball. So I've always said this guy pitches when he's pitching well out of the middle of the plate and changes speeds with the best of them.
Here's Xavier Avery. Career first home run last night, proved to be the game winner. Right to Kochman. Nice play. There's one. Cabrera, there's 2. That is a major league double play by one of the game's best first basemen to start it.
Well, Gary, you talked about the fact that Kochman, even though he had a good night last night, doesn't hit lefties. He's in there for exactly this. Xavier's trying to hit a ball into right field, and that's not an easy play. But again, I mean, this is a guy that a typical year for him is maybe, if he's having a bad year, 2 errors. Made one last night, but it wasn't an easy play. He can pick it.
And here's J.J. Hardy. Cashman has led the league in first baseman fielding percentage each of the last 4 years. So what you saw him do right there is not an aberrant play. Here's the 1-0 delivery to Hardy, and a good jam shot right there. Shortstop Cabrera. And he's got it. So only 3 faced despite a leadoff walk in this bad first inning. Is not bad at all tonight for Tomlin. By Luna, call for the Luna double and get your second room of flooring free. 877-241 Luna. Sculpture unveiled, Earl Weaver. It is his day here at Camden Yards, and we are just so delighted that he joins us here in the booth. Earl, it was a great ceremony. Congratulations.
I loved it, naturally.
That's what matters.
Yeah.
You look like you really enjoyed it.
Well, I did. You know, there's not enough words in my vocabulary to really express how you feel with something like that. I've known about it for a long time, but yet when you see it, it still hasn't sunk in.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to come back sometime and see the statue because they didn't give me time really to look and see what it looked like.
Here's Lou Marson. You've already got the line of the day, maybe the year, when you said, they made me look like Buck. I loved it.
Yeah.
And I think Buck was honored by that.
Well, maybe he was insulted. We don't know.
No, I know. He's a big fan.
Yeah.
There you are. Now, you look very pensive to me.
Well, that was taken on a little field, as I told you. When we were working on fundamentals, we had 1 ball field and a half a ball field. But we got a lot done. There's no doubt about that.
And the pitch will be taken on the inside corner for a strike, and the count goes to 2-2. I heard you talking about evaluation of players. You were thanking all the people who'd done that for you. You yourself, though, knew how to evaluate a baseball player. What were you looking for in a player to be your guy?
Well, I think not that you look for anything. Everybody can't be Frank Brooks.
Yep.
You know, every pitcher can't be Jim Palmer. But there's a little bit of something in them that makes them right at the edge of being a big league ball player. Now, through 20 years in the minor leagues, the first 10 as a player, watching people pass me up and get to the big leagues and saying to myself, what have they got that I don't have? Well, they had a better arm. They could run faster. They hit the ball further. You know, There weren't many better fielders, though. But at any rate, you start judging. And then it was your job to judge talent and send in, as a minor league manager, to send in reports to the front office. And what it just turned out that I feel I really had good baseball judgment. And when I turned in a prospect report or turned in a report that said this guy will never get to the big leagues, I feel I had a lot of success. And I guess the fellow that hired me, Harry Dalton, he was reading those reports all through the years as a minor league manager and gave me a chance.
You keep talking. A couple of outs, good ground ball out there as Hardy makes the play. The 2 quick outs here in the strikeout. Marson, Cunningham grounds out. We go to the top of the order. Chu scored the run, leading off in that first inning with a single. Harry Dalton is a name you keep repeating over and over. I mean, he made a huge difference in your life, didn't he?
Oh, he definitely did. Jim McLaughlin was the guy that hired me first as a minor league manager, and I owe him almost everything. Well, not almost everything, but a lot for giving me a chance. And then Harry at that time was the assistant farm director under McLaughlin. And we grew up through the minor leagues together. Well, Harry grew up through the front office. I grew up through the minor leagues. And Harry Dalton was definitely responsible for me getting a major league job.
I always knew that you had some good minor league years. When did you really know that 100 runs, scored 100 runs, drove in 102 runs, things like that? When did you really know? I know it was age 26, but what prompted you to think about managing?
Well, I worked my way up with a Cardinal roster to the big leagues. That took 4 years. The next 6 were working my way down. That's what happened.
Because I know Cal Ripken Sr.
And when I got back to A-ball, I thought, what is this? And I really,
Avery's going to go back into the corner. It is hit hard, and goodbye home run. It had just enough to get into the first row, and Sin-Soo Choo continues to be one of the hottest hitters in the month of June for anybody, and certainly for the Indians, and that is going to make it a 2-0 ball game.
He's one of your type of guys. Not only did he homer on Thursday, he hits it out today. He's got 17 extra base hits in the leadoff spot, kind of like Tom Buford, and he can run and he can throw.
What about the on-base percentage?
Real good.
Oh, gosh.
He's a 5-tool player when healthy.
I'll tell Dan to make a trade for him.
Okay, there you go. I knew you were a good evaluator, and you told us.
Yeah, you just told me.
That will be fouled back by Cabrera, so it is a 2-0. Do you think you talked about the numbers? You started using numbers, comparisons, looking pitcher, hitter, all that sort of thing, where guys hit balls. Would you have gone to the shifts that we see used in the game now?
I don't remember anybody that we really had to do it against. Of course, you got to ask Mr. Brain here, because
that's Mr. Palmer.
He's got the memory. And tell me what I should have done. Who should we have turned over, Jim?
No, we had charts. We had straight charts. Yeah.
Well, we
never
had big
extremely.
Charts. Yeah. Over the winter, we'd go over and knew, like Sal Bando with Oakland. We knew every hit he got against us. My pitchers took the charts. Yeah. And we went over him in the winter, and we knew exactly where he was going to hit the ball or how we had to adjust. One year we pitched him inside, one year we pitched him outside. He adjusted with us sometimes, and we had to adjust again. But we'd have a pretty good idea.
Can you let the fans know a typical scouting report on a guy? What did it end up to be? High and tight, low and away, something like that? Well,
no. We know in the major leagues there's more low ball hitters from the left side of the plate.
Used to tell me most left-handers hit curveballs, low curveballs.
Oh, they do. They love the low pitch. But I couldn't tell you to pitch anybody low. But you had great success with that fastball that jumped, maybe 2 inches or maybe just sometimes even 1 inch. And, well, let me say this. All those 20-game winners we had, when any one of them, young guy, McGregor, Flanagan, come up out of the big leagues, I did a great job with them, because I told them, see that 22 out there? Do everything he does and listen to him. And try to stay up with them if you can. And they did. They tried. And they listened, and they tried to stay up with him.
Well, that was the ultimate compliment. Now, of course, you didn't tell me.
You didn't tell him that
you
when he
told
was
me
playing,
till
though,
last
did you?
year at Cooperstown.
Yeah, you knew it.
As Dribble Cabrera to swing and a miss. Earl, we are just so happy your day is here. How much you obviously are enjoying it, and we are so honored to have you with us. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
Earl Weaver, this is his day as the sculptor was unveiled prior to the ball game. Indians now have the 2-0 lead. Back, the fans, his former great players. Buck Showalter went out and took that opening pitch, and then Dana Evelyn worked himself out of a jam, giving up only a run, leaving the bases loaded first. Earl up to join us here in the second inning. What a treat to have him here. And there's no question about the love affair that exists between Baltimore and Earl Weaver.
Well, they love him, and he's in the Hall of Fame. One of the great. If you're an Oriole player, and I know Earl said this at Frank's, I probably said it on the air, he said, they don't want to hear about me. And I said, no, Buck does want to hear about you, because he wants his players to have the respect for the game and play at the level that your players did.
Yep.
And I look at both of these guys, and I'll probably talk about this a little bit. I look at Buck and I look at Earl, and I'm going, they're both prepared. They both have a passion for the game. You know, Buck maybe a little bit more sympathetic, compassionate, but Earl was all about winning, and so is Buck.
Yep, absolutely.
Now, if Buck ever gets 3, 4, 5 Hall of Famers and some 20-game winners and Cy Young Award winners, and
that's down the line. That's going to be a fair ball. Adam Jones will make the turn. He's headed to second base. Cunningham will get it in. A leadoff double to the Orioles center fielder.
But see, he does have players like Adam Jones. And the great thing about 2012, yes, the Orioles are playing well, but they signed Adam long term. And to me, that's the future. He can hit, he can play, he can run. He's only going to get better. If he stays healthy, he's going to be an all-star candidate every year. Whether he makes the team, who knows? That can always be political, but he can play.
Last night, an offensive affair, 9-8 win for the Orioles. There were a combined 26 hits in the ball game. Cleveland out-hit the Orioles 16-10 and lost the game. And this game is starting out like we may have a little more of that involved here. Batterbeat 9-game hit streak. He's gone 4 for 8 in this series with an RBI, pushing his average up to 274. And Batterbeat with an opportunity here for an RBI. And the pitch will be taken. It is there for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike count.
But you called what Buck called them the go-go Orioles. That not only did they steal bases last night, the situational hitting, which is they've been struggling with, getting guys in, getting guys over, runners at third with less than 2 outs last night. That was not a problem.
No, they really played some fundamentally sound ball after the game got going. There's a great off-speed breaking ball. That'll break your back right there.
Well, that's what Josh Tomlin can do. He's got a plus curveball. And again, he just can't throw a lot of fastballs as he did to Adam Jones in the middle of the plate. And when he's pitching well, which has not been the case in June, He usually does stay out of the middle of the plate. And he's got a great changeup to go with that hook.
Here's the 1-1 delivery. Benavides rips it to first. Kochman again. Throw to second. They got both of them. A line drive double play, and Kochman has been involved in 2 double plays in 2 innings. 2 outs.
Well, the smartest manager on the field so far is Manny Acton, because he started Kochman. And again, he just snares a line drive. So Josh Tomlin living in the good world.
Some defensive help here in the first 2 innings. 2 down, nobody on. Getting the start in right field today is Chris Davis. Davis in right for the 9th time this year, and it looks like his bat may be heating up. A couple of hits in this series as he's gone 2 for 7. He will not be disappointed to see the month of June disappear. And there's that off-speed pitch again that can really make a hitter look bad, and a 2-strike count.
Yeah, you would think this would be a good matchup because again, when Tomlin's pitching well, he can pull the string, and Chris would like to get something up in the zone. He would like to get it out over the plate.
Another off-speed pitch and got him.
Yeah, well, it's a high strike zone, and it's going to be a high strike zone, and got to live with it.
So only 3 faced again. The leadoff man's been on in both innings for the Orioles, and each time retired on a double play. In tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Yes, it's a day game because it started before 5, but it will go into the night.
Well, not like last night. What did we
You don't know.
You talked about the storms. Going over, I live downtown. I mean, branches, leaves everywhere.
And we downtown Baltimore actually didn't get very much of the storm. We had that one streak of about half an hour, and then it was gone. But boy, out around the surrounding areas, a really severe streak of storms went through. Gentle breeze even on the very high flagpole way out there in downtown. Here at the ballpark, gentle breeze blowing out towards left field and overcast skies. Evelyn goes back to work in the breaking ball, and that will be a strike. Here's Kipnis again.
The irony today, Mike Estabrook is calling a high strike, but that's not where Danny Evelyn wants to pitch. He wants to be down in the zone.
Kipnis robbed of a hit by Avery in the first inning, and a great catch. Kipnis has the 4th best average on the road this year. He didn't get any help from Avery, though, on that catch early. .331 road average. Kipnis really making his presence felt. .278 overall on the season. 1 ball, 1 strike count from Evelyn. Outfield straight away on him. Breaking ball, it didn't. And will miss inside to him, and a 1 ball, 1 strike count.
Well, there's a skipper, Manny Acton. Of course, Jason Kipnis came up last year, so you wonder, okay, is there going to be a little bit of a fall off, is the sophomore slump, so to speak? And if anything, he's doing better.
Ooh.
Well, got the helmet
one hitting
somewhere in the helmet, unfortunately.
He gets up and takes off. Maniacta immediately came out, but won't have to go down to first base by the looks of it. That is the 5th hit batter by Evelyn this year.
So turn. And he does. Got the shoulder. So it didn't hit his head. Good thing. It's hard to teach. But again, if you can roll into pitches, Frank Robinson used to do it. Don Baylor, guys that used to get pelted all the time. Well, that's regular speed. So that's about 0.4 of a second to get out of the way.
Evelyn does. That's why he's hit 5 batters, trying to back people off the plate. He's not afraid to do that. He's not trying to hit them, but he will come inside.
And I think it's also the fact he doesn't really have good command of that. And, everything's up. He's thrown a couple of curveballs, but they've bounced. And he's a finesse lefty. So
Kipnis can steal too, so now he's got to keep an eye on him. And 18 stolen bases, 3rd in the league, 16 straight stolen bases for him.
And he'll steal it on Evelyn, not Wieters, who's thrown out 37% of the runners that have tried to score. He'll go on first move, may not do it right now, but
Jose Lopez at the plate. Kipnis getting a little word there on what the sign was coming over from Steve Smith at third base. Lopez, the 0-1. Runner not going anywhere. In fact, he was backing to the bag. And the pitch is taken in a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
And about 3 weeks ago, they actually were going to outright Jose Lopez. And 3 weeks later, you can see good numbers here. As you know, that's why he's in the lineup. He's their cleanup hitter.
Injuries change everything. 1-ball, 1-strike count. Nobody out. And there's that high pitch. Not going to get the call on that one, though. And it goes to a 2-ball, 1-strike count.
Well, Jose Lopez, and we saw him when he first came up with the Mariners, he's a high ball hitter. So again, you'd love to be able to finish one of your pitches, change up, two-seamer, pitch down. You can see the pitch count, 19 more. The more they see, the easier he is to hit.
There goes the runner. So down low, Wieters from his knees, no chance. Big jump for Kipnis, 17 in a row stolen.
Well, I told you he wasn't going to steal it on Matt Wieters. He had no chance. He went on the first move. Dana doesn't throw over there. And Buck, of course, wants to know what it is. He's just going and head down, straight steal. Good news is Brian Roberts kept it from going into center field.
So now with nobody out in a 3-ball, 1-strike count, Lopez another RBI chance. He got an RBI with a single in his first at bat. 3-1 delivery on the way, and that will be fouled away. Lopez has struggled at the plate of late. 5 hits in his last 36 times coming into the ball game, but has picked up that base hit here and has done a good job with runners in scoring position and limited chances. Already a 2-0 lead for the Indians. A Lopez RBI single and the home run picked up by Sin-Soo Choo, and jammed him and fouled off.
Yeah, it's a really difficult situation for Dana Evelyn. He'd love to get Jose Lopez to hit a ball to the left side so you can't advance the runner, which is what Maniacta and the Indians would love to have happen. But if you don't command the ball, 3-2, boy, it's another ball. Don't think that Maniacta doesn't know that Evelyn is on the ropes.
Yep. The Orioles don't want to go to that bullpen any earlier than needed, but Evelyn to pile up the pitches. Here's the 3-2 delivery on the way, and he came in and got him. So Evelyn gets the strikeout. That's what he's doing here in the ball game. When he needs a K, he's finding a way to get it. He's got 4.
Yeah, and again, he gets it down and he gets it in. Perfect pitch at 3-2. Hitter that's not hot. You can see him trying to keep his hands in, which he does. He just can't get the bat head to the ball. Great pitch.
And there's Michael Brantley coming up. A couple of games already concluded in the East. The Yankees shut out Chicago 4-0, and Toronto has beaten the Angels 11-2. So teams in the American League East got out of their losing streaks, including the Orioles last night. That ball launched to center field. Jones has got it lined up, tagging up Kipnis. Throw will come in to third base. Perfect throw. And Brantley is retired, and there are 2 down. Maryland Lottery Strike It Rich contestant of the game, Joyce Miller, comes from Middle River. Joyce, you've already won $500 for being selected. For every strikeout the Oriole pitchers record, you get $100 more from the Maryland Lottery. See how you can turn non-winning Strike It Rich scratch-offs into cash. Enter to win great O's prizes. MDLottery.com/strikeItRich. In that Yankee win today over the White Sox 4-0, Kuroda gave them a much-needed start. A good one. He gave up no runs, 3 hits, 7 innings, and struck out 11 for a Yankee staff, which right now is a little decimated. Here's Shelley Duncan. Duncan struck out his first time up, goes to third, foul with it.
Yeah, they started Adam Warner, a young starter, and he gave up 8 runs and 6 hits before the 4th inning. Didn't even get out of the 3rd. And actually, they gave him a 4-0 lead. In the next 12 hitters, he gave up 8 hits. So
Toronto ended a losing streak. Tampa Bay get out of a losing streak. The Orioles get out of a losing streak all in last night's game. The Yankees get out of one today. They'd lost 2 in a row before today's win. Duncan on an 0-2 count.
Yeah, and that's where Dana Evelyn would like to live. Even though we haven't really seen too many low pitches, all the high ones have been called strikes. And now he doesn't have to throw him a strike because he's ahead.
Duncan, 239 career hitter. Power. He's got a runner on at second base with 2 down. Evelyn again trying to work his way out of a jam. 3 have been left on by the Indians, all in that first inning when they left the bases loaded. The home run by Chu off the Orioles starter, Evelyn, the second. 1 righty, 1 lefty on the year. Here's the 0-2 delivery. That'll be down low. Wieters will block it and hold it right there. Evelyn has had 2 games against the Indians. He was with Oakland when he made the starts. He won both of them. 2-0 and a 1.5 ERA in those games. This is the 61st career start for Dana Evelyn as a starter. He is 17-22. 1 ball, 2 strikeout. Buck Showalter wanting to get another lefty in against this Indians team. Goes to short. Hardy bobbles it. It'll be an error. Hardy on the Duncan ground ball can't get the final out, and the inning will go on as Kipnis moves over to third base.
Well, folks, this hardly ever happens. And the ball just maybe comes up a little bit. Usually you pick your hops. You can see the ball coming up. Normally it's in the web, hits on the heel of the glove. That is a rarity.
Only the 3rd error he's committed this year.
He's just so good at shortstop.
Orioles, their 68th error, as they are tied for the most errors committed in the American League. Duncan reaches. So that forces Evelyn to go on here, 1st and 3rd, 2 down, and here's Kochman. He flied out his first time up to center, hit the ball hard. Kochman will take it, got fooled by it, but it misses up high for a ball. Let's see how many pitches this is going to cost Evelyn. Should be back on the bench, and the Orioles hitting.
Yeah, it's important, of course, when you're not scoring a lot of runs, even though they did put 9 on the board last night. Just hope it doesn't cost you a run.
That misses, and the count goes to 2-0. Orioles come in 4 games behind the division leading Yankees. Cleveland has dropped to 3.5 behind the division leading White Sox, who lost today, of course. 2-0 count. Kochman takes it, and that's there. Another breaking ball that is in for a strike. Kochman's hit safely in 14 out of the last 20. And of course, he's already made 2 sparkling plays at first base that have ended up in double plays that cut short what might have been good innings for the Orioles.
Well, a big part of Tampa Bay's success last year.
2-2.
Yeah, but a guy came up through the Angel organization. His dad, a longtime coach, scout, and never has hit a lot of home runs. You know, he's there. He's in Atlanta. Last year he hits over 300. He hits 10 home runs. I was talking to him. He said, well, I guess I just didn't hit enough home runs. And they go get Carlos Pena. And he's hitting under 200.
What an anchor, though, to have in your infield. Huh?
No, he just doesn't have the wow factor. But again, he's a terrific defensive player.
That'll miss inside. Couple of those pitches that have been up and in.
Yeah, well, those are just hanging breaking balls. You can't. Now the fastball hit Kipnis, but the hanging breaking balls just you can't get on top of it. And a lot of times you try to slow everything down, get your arm out in front of you, but some days you have rhythm and some days you don't.
Sounds like a good jazz or blues tune to me. 3-ball, 2-strike count. Runners off first and third. Breaking ball to second base. Brian Roberts has got it, and again Evelyn finds a way. Now he had to throw an additional 5 pitches after the error, but he leaves the 2 on, and the score 2-0 Indians. Antwerpen Auto. When Jack says yes, you pay less at Antwerpen Hyundai, Nissan, Toyota at Howard County Auto Park. Visit jacksays.yes.com today. And today was Earl Weaver's day, and he had a great story to tell that Jim will relate regarding umpire Joe West.
Well, he said he walked into his room and gave me a kiss. I said, what? And now he said, no. I said, he didn't umpire when you managed. He said, oh, yeah, he threw me out in spring training. But apparently they were golfing pals.
In the air and in the yard, Chu and Wieters retired.
So he goes on to relate that, yeah, we played golf. Joe's a really good putter. So that's probably, as far as I remember, and I have a pretty good memory, the only nice thing he's ever said about an umpire.
He's a really good putter.
Well, I mean, Marty Springstead, the late Marty Springstead, who was, a long-time American League umpire, he goes, he's a terrific guy. He just can't umpire. So kind of a double,
I love it.
I like him. Just horrible.
Horrible guy. Too bad he can't ump.
No, good guy. Just too bad he can't ump.
Wieters retired on the first pitch he sees. Here's Reynolds. Mark Reynolds, the designated hitter for the Orioles, 1 for 5, lifetime off Tomlin, and will take the pitch for a ball to be followed by Flaherty getting the start at third base. Orioles on the homestand, 3 wins and 4 losses so far, as the Orioles ERA of 5.14 in this homestand. Starters have really struggled with a 6.5 ERA first 7 games of this homestand, but the Orioles still have a chance to make a success of it. They get a win today and tomorrow.
Yeah, the Angels really kind of put a dent into that ERA.
3-0 taken all the way, and he's on with a walk. And Orioles get a base runner on here. Take a look at our AT&T mobility trivia fact. During 75 spring training, O's manager Earl Weaver pioneered the use of the radar guns in Major League Baseball to track the speed of pitches. That to go along with the numbers that he also pioneered the use of.
Well, he used it as a device that if you had a pitcher, and we had some great pitchers, but if you had a pitcher that maybe wasn't as good as Mike Cuellar or Dave McNally, and he would lose velocity, there's one of his he had no trouble putting Frank Robinson in the lineup every day in right field. But if a guy would lose velocity, Earl wanted to know. Now, if you make good pitches, like Dobson could do, McNally and Cuellar, he didn't really care. But again, for a young guy that was coming up, and he thought it was very important.
Just amazing that others hadn't done it. It always, in hindsight, looks so simple when we talk about the fact you're using pitcher-batter numbers. You're looking at where a guy's hit balls so you can adjust your fielders. But for a long time in baseball, that just wasn't done. 1-0 count, runner at first. Orioles, Flaherty playing at third base, and Ryan batting in the number 9 spot. Big RBI in the ball game last night. Tomlin's pitch will miss.
Earl was the first guy that kind of documented it. I mean, I know Cal Ripken Sr. was talking to Cal Jr., and he always had notes and all that to how you played guys and whatever. But I think for Earl, he just wanted to have them handy. It certainly made him a better manager.
And that ball down to first, and just miss. Both Kochman in the bag.
Yeah, the big hit last night, Ryan Flaherty hooked the ball into right field off their closer, Chris Perez, who came in. And they would add an extra run, which would end up to be the winning run.
Flaherty now goes from right field to third base. 6th start at third base for Flaherty. You talk about the Orioles moving players around as Buck Showalter's had to do. I mean, Betemeet's making his 9th start at first. Davis is making his 9th start in right. Flaherty's making his 6th start at third base. I don't think Buck Showalter, despite the fact he's getting a lot of credit for what the Orioles are doing, gets enough. I mean, he has had to manage and put together every day a different lineup, trying to figure out, based on who's pitching in particular, what gives the Orioles the best chance of winning a game.
And also get the players to buy in.
Yeah.
And that's another, I mean, to me, one of the more important aspects of it. And
3-1 delivery. That's going to be a base hit into right field. Good jump made by Reynolds. He's going to make the turn. Chu's got an arm. Here's the throw to third. Not in time. Gets away. Reynolds will stay as it is backed up by the pitcher, Tomlin.
And Flaherty should have been on second. You know, you're going to round first, and then the play's in front of you. So you don't anticipate it. I mean, he goes out and rakes this ball just like last night. But again, you just don't know. You can't ever. You think that in this ballpark, because Chu can throw, that Reynolds is going to stop. So right here, you should be somewhere in our pictures back over here, and he's not. So when the throw does get away, and it does get away, you don't have the tying run at second. And that's a big base. I mean, I don't want to point it out, but it's just one of those things where, hey, if you're really heads up, but this is a young player learning at this level, and you don't always get it right. I certainly didn't.
Keeps the double play as an option. And the Orioles have already hit into 2 of those. Brian Roberts threw a walk first time up.
See, right now you should be coming around the bag. So if you're another, 10, 15 feet, you easily get to second base, and he wasn't. And I'm sure that he will be reminded.
That will be mentioned.
Yeah, that's
one of the learning.
Well, because Ryan Flaherty, the reason they kept him as a Rule 5 guy, they get him out of the Pittsburgh organization because they think he's going to be a real good major league player.
Orioles with a chance now, trailing 2-0. Couple of hits in the ball game. That ball's hit in the air to right field. That ball is hit near the warning track. Chu is there to make the catch. Runner tags. Throw comes into second. RBI for Robertson. It's a 2-1 game.
So Mark Reynolds, who leads the league leads the team in walks.
Roberts getting his 5th RBI, and the Orioles do it against Tomlin, who does not walk many in his career. He averages only 1.68 walks per 9 innings. He'd given up 11, however, in 27 innings. Take that back, 17 in 66 innings this year, and the Orioles take advantage of a walk and get a run in, and Roberts gets the RBI to make it 2-1.
Well, that situational hitting, as far as I'm concerned, as a right-handed pitcher, Ryan Flaherty was able to do off Tomlin what you don't want to have done, which is have a guy hook a ball into right field and get the first and third situation, because you can give up a run exactly the way Tomlin gave him up.
Flaherty 1 stolen base, 1 for 1 in the year.
That's why you work so hard about commanding the ball down and away. Even if he gets a hit, it's still first and second. Makes a big difference over the course of a year.
That's the pitch he's used effectively in this game. Tomlin with that off-speed breaking ball that he's dropped in and had the Oriole hitters off balance. 1-1. Tomlin has a record against the Orioles. He is 2-1, 3 career starts previously. ERA of 5 against the O's. Home runs, Wieters, Reimold, and Jones have had homers off him. That one he just kind of knuckles into the outside corner and a 1-2 count.
I'll take a look. So there are the averages. And again, the fastball, well, now you see why he's throwing a lot of cutters and change-ups and curveballs. When you're hitting 367 off your heater, it tells me you're, and it's not about the velocity. I mean, it's not a great velocity, but obviously too much in the middle of the plate.
1-2, and that's going to be fouled away. Xavier Avery hit the ball hard and ended up getting into a 3-6-3 double play his first time up.
Well, he was talking today, as you look at Brian Roberts, Chris Davis, Brian on the left, he gets the RBI sacrifice fly. He said, Xavier said, I went down to the minor leagues to expressly work on trying to hit off speed pitches. Well, I feel like I'm a pretty good fastball hitter, but changing speeds, and there's nothing like actually being here in the big leagues with a finesse pitcher on the mound.
1-2 delivery. That's going to be sliced the other way.
And then he tries to sneak a fastball by him.
And Avery's got a tremendous advantage. I mean, he's got the great young background already, but for the Orioles, who have had to play without a legitimate, and I don't mean this negatively towards anyone who's been out there, but without legitimate outfielders in right and left with Markakis' injury and Reimold out, Avery can play the outfield. And you got to catch the ball to win at the major league level. You just have to. And the Orioles have not been doing that. Avery can do that in left field. 1-2 delivery on the way down to first. Not going to get that one. It's a fair ball. It was touched into foul territory. Flaherty on his way to third. He's going to be waved to him, now held up. It is a double as the throw comes in from Chu. Now Marlo Hale was thinking about sending him, but was watching Chu all the way over, and Chu was able to get it off the tarp and get it in.
Yeah, take a look. It looks like a little cut fastball, or maybe it's just a heater, but anyway. And again, he goes out and gets it. This time Kochman can't catch it. Does deflect it, though. So again, Flaherty not getting to second. Boy, plays a huge, at least at the moment, role in this inning. Should have been tied up.
So the Orioles now, in light of the fact he didn't get that bag at second, will have to try and do it with 2 down and J.J. Hardy. Xavier Avery's already got 5-2 baggers. Hardy popped out his first time up. The Orioles trailing 2-1. That's their third hit. They picked up 2 doubles and a single off Tomlin. And the pitch will miss inside for a ball. So Hardy gets the chance for the Orioles. Base hit here to give them a lead in the ball game. And the fans get into it.
And it gets sunnier, so maybe the shadows will play a role here this afternoon. There's a fastball, a little bit extra, a couple miles per hour.
Orioles come into today's game 9th in 2-out RBIs in the American League. J.J. Hardy would like to up that number a little bit with Flaherty and Avery. 2 on base. Here's the 1-1. Hardy puts it in the air to center field. Going back. Brantley going back, and he's got it on the warning track 400 feet away. The Orioles end up with a run on 2 hits, no errors. 2 are left in scoring position, and a 1-run ball game. Masson brought to you by AT&T 4G LTE. With speeds up to 10 times faster than 3G, AT&T rethink possible. And by Acura Advance. Gary Thorne, Jim Powell, Earl Weaver Day here at Camden Yards. The unveiling of the sculpture out in the gardens. The Orioles down 2-1. Evelyn on the mound getting the start. Up to 60. But Showalter said he reaches 80. I'll be very happy. Evelyn said, I'd like to get 85 or more.
Well, this, again, one of the scouting reports was big opportunity, and it is. I just hope he has an easy inning, and it suggests just right around where the glove is. And there's a curveball there, right to the leader's glove.
Gets the corner with it. Marson, a strikeout victim his first time up. Lou Marson doing the catching.
Yeah, not a lot of at-bats, Gary, and you can see it's been got a hit last night, RBI. Marietta was looking and got ahead of him and just didn't make a good pitch. Hit it right back up the middle.
Carlos Santana, their starting catcher, is supposed to be back with them tomorrow. Right rib cage and back soreness has kept him out. They hoped he was going to be available to go in this ball game. Cannot. So Marson gets another start, hitting at 247. Santana's really been struggling at the plate. Pitch will be taken up high. 2-1 strike count. Marson, Cunningham, and then Chu. The Indians back at 500, 38-38 on the season with a loss last night. Their largest deficit of the year has been equal to 3.5 games and another base hit. So Marson's getting opportunities and he's taking advantage of it. There's a leadoff single here in the 4th inning. This day in baseball brought to you by Ocean City, Maryland. Make memories of your own this summer and book your vacation at OCOcean.com. 1997, Mike Mussina of the Orioles won his 100th game. Cal kicked in with his second grand slam of the season in that ballgame. And on this date in 2009, the O's overcame a record 9-run deficit as they came back to beat the Red Sox by a score of 11-10. All on this date. Here's Aaron Cunningham. Good pitch down and away. He grounded out to short his first time up. Cunningham gets the start against the left-handers, making the start in left field.
And then they plays defense.
Yep.
Always been a good defender.
He's had 14 starts prior to this. 4 of those have been in left field, but he's been in left field in 36 different games. That's how many defensive replacement chances he's had. And we saw him come into the ball game last night. Evelyn retires 81% of leadoff batters in the limited innings pitched this year. Leadoff man on here in the 4th, and pitch is going to be taken for a strike.
Yeah, Marson.
Wow.
We had me fooled.
If he'd been going, he'd be walking down.
Yeah, he would have. Well, we've already seen it where they're going his first move. And obviously, I haven't seen that much of Dana. I mean, I know he did start. Came over to Milwaukee and then Arizona in the big leagues, but Oakland in 2008 was his first year. So he must not have a real good move.
No. Marson's 2 for 2 in stolen bases, and he's got that little leg kick that gives you that extra moment as a base runner to take off. There's a little hesitation.
Well, Scotty McGregor, who was actually at Earl's ceremony, I didn't see him because he was in the back, but he taught Mike Flanagan, okay, if you start your hands, say go on your first move, if you start your hands at your waist and you start your hands first and not simultaneously with your legs, it's easy to read. So let's see where he rests. See, come down. Well, it's hard to tell from that angle. But a lot of guys.
Inside corner, got him.
Yeah. Well, if you don't know it's going to be a high stroke zone by now, you're not paying attention. Again, it kind of floats in. It looks like a changeup.
Evelyn really battling here in this game as he picks up his 5th strikeout, 2 shy of his career high set some time ago back in 2008. He has struck out as many as 4 times.
I looked at the numbers on that year. So again, he's never really been a guy that throws in the mid-90s. He went 9-9 that year with Oakland. Pretty good ERA.
Sin-Soo Choo, is he hot?
Yeah.
Down low for a ball.
Yeah, well, down. Stay down. But I looked at Dana and look at those numbers. They came in a slump or semi-slump.
Chu doing a tremendous job, as we've mentioned, in that leadoff spot. He is tied for second in doubles, 16th in walks, 13th in runs in the American League. Pitch inside to him and a 2-0 count. He is homered and singled in this game. Has a 5-game hit streak underway. And in this series now, he has picked up 6 hits, 10 at-bats, including 2 home runs and 4 RBIs.
Yeah, their 2 best hitters hitting 1 and 2, with Cabrera right behind him.
2-0 count, runner at first and 1 away. Chu with that sweeping breaking ball watches it. It's going to miss, and the count goes to 3-0.
So he will probably be swinging here.
Wieters, I think, and I'm guessing here, but I think he's having something to say to the home plate umpire after that last pitch on Mike Estabrook. He threw it back very slowly as though he thought that was in there. And that is not, and he walks it. So 2 on, 1 down. Chu goes down to first. Start time for the Saturday, July 14 game against the Tigers moved to 7:05 to 4:05 to accommodate the Fox game. The 14th will mark the unveiling of Jim's sculpture as part of the Orioles Legends Celebration Series. So the ceremonies now, this is July 14. Ceremonies at 2:15. The gates will open at 2. Tickets available 888-848-BIRD or Orioles.com. So again, the Indians threatening here. Runners on at first and second base. Cabrera, base hit into left field. Avery on 2 hops. Runners coming home. Here's Avery's throw to Wieters. Off the mark, not in time, and no play anywhere else. I'll tell you right there, it's about the scouting charts on Avery, I guess. Steve Smith did not hesitate to send the runner home, and Marson scores easily.
Right, but again, he slaps his glove because he misses the cutoff man. So even if you don't throw well, Don Baylor didn't do it, but he got to the ball quickly as Xavier does. Hit the cutoff man. Throws up. You can see it right there, right over Ryan Flaherty's head. So not only do you get the run, you get the extra base.
And a 3-1 lead for the Indians. So Cabrera picks up his 5th RBI in this series, and on the year, that's number 39. Runners at first and third, only 1 away. 6 hits on the board for the Indians. And here's Kipnis, hit by a pitch his last time out, robbed of a hit by Avery his first time up. 1 down, and up high for a ball.
So you have Kipnis. The Royals have action in their bullpen, a right-hander, and then you have Jose Lopez with Johnny Damon waiting in case they bring in Hunter.
1-0 count. And they throw over to first base. Cabrera back to the bag.
But then again, because Lopez is playing third, maybe they won't pinch hit for him.
74 pitches coming up. Second visit to the mound. Mercader makes his way out as Eveland, in his second start of the year, has given up the 3 runs on 6 hits in the ball game. He does have the 5 strikeouts. Has, however, walked a couple in the game and has hit a batter. We will be back here tomorrow for the final game of this 4-game set. Afternoon game tomorrow. 1:30 for the ball game. 1 o'clock for O's Extra. Brian Mattis and Justin Masterson are the scheduled starters. 1-0 count. 1 run in. Cabrera at first base. Here's the throw over again. Cabrera, not a big lead over there. Runners at first and third, so Chu watching to see if that ball gets away. Eveland, here's the 1-0. Breaking ball.
And again, just kind of can't quite get on top of it. And again, the 2 innings might have something to do with Gary, because if your arm doesn't feel well, you're always just a little under it. And that's not where you want to be on a good breaking ball.
28-year-old trying to get through the inning. Here's the 2-0 delivery, and that misses. And the count goes to 3-0.
Yeah, not much can him man this afternoon.
But Showalter hoping that the left-hander could do well against this Indians lineup and to struggle against lefties, but so far not so good. And a ground ball towards second base. Roberts a long way to go. He'll make the play over to first. A run will score. So an RBI picked up by Kipnis, his first of the ball game. Chu crosses the plate, and it is a 4-1 Cleveland lead. And that will be it for Dana Evelyn. So Evelyn will come out of the ball game having worked the 3 2/3 innings. He surrenders 6 hits to the moment, 4 runs, responsible for the base runner on Cabrera. Getting the start. There are the numbers as he leaves the ball game, and another swing starter for the Orioles comes on in relief, Tommy Hunter.
Yeah, and of course Tommy's been in 14 games, 13 of them as starters. Obviously Dana Evelyn disappointed because he didn't have much command. Tommy elevated ERA, and all you got to do is he doesn't walk a whole lot of guys, but all you got to do is check out the home run column. And again, he's thrown 19 home runs in 79 innings. It's just too many. He actually he gave up a home run the other day against the Angels in relief, but he threw the ball with more velocity. He just got up in the strike zone.
He has a runner on at second base, 2 down, and faces Lopez, and the pitch taken away for a ball. Lopez an RBI single. Chu's had a home run. Cabrera an RBI base hit. Kipnis an RBI and a ground ball out. And Lopez an RBI base hit for the Cleveland runs. The Orioles sac fly by Brian Roberts accounting for their lone run so far. Hunter misses down low. Count goes to 2-0 on Lopez. The Indians with 2 runs in here in the 4th, and as was true last night, another game in which they are starting with a lot of base runners. They've had somebody on every inning. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Check swing. Did he go? Look to first. New run break.
So another cutter. 95 and then 92, 92, and the bat didn't get close to it.
3-0 count.
And I wouldn't admit, might be swinging. Nope.
He'll take it for a strike.
So Tommy Hunter, and this is one of the more amazing things. We saw him last July when he came over. He throws in the mid-90s, and when he starts it goes down to 89, 91. I just don't understand that. I don't mean all the time. I just mean ever.
Yeah,
it's just one of the great mysteries.
3-run delivery, and that'll be just on a play. So this game now for Buck Showalter becomes a quilting bee, as he's got to put some patches together and see if he can put enough knots in to come up with a quilt that looks good. Because when you get a start of 3 2/3 innings, you're back to juggling this bullpen. And yes, you've thought about it last night and today. What happens if, as he always says.
Well, they really have. If he can pitch well, they have the right guy out there, because you know he can pitch 3, 4, 5 innings, snapping his finger if he's making quality pitches. And for Tommy, that's pretty much the story. He got 4 pitches.
3-2, runner goes and right to the hole, and it's going to be knocked down by Hardy, but the run's going to score. Flaherty might have been able to make a play on that at third had he not had to move over to cover the bag. Cabrera took off. It'll be a single and an RBI and a 5-1 lead.
Well, you really don't care about the guy stealing third with two outs. So he takes a couple of steps, doesn't play a lot of third base, and they take advantage of it. Pretty good pitch from Tommy Hunter. Bad result. You got to give Lopez credit. 3-2, able to make contact, put the ball in play, and that gets him their 5th run.
Lopez 2 RBIs in the game and 25 on the year now, and all 5 runs will be charged to the starter, Dana Evelyn.
Just think about it. It's 3-2, 2 outs. There's not going to be a play at third. No possible way to be a play at third. Unless he walks, I suppose, and then you could throw him out, but he got such a big jug. I mean, and again, this is a young player that doesn't play a lot of third, which brings up your point. You have to juggle people, and they're out of position or playing different positions. And
you will get caught.
Yeah, you really will.
You will get caught. So the Orioles today fundamentally have made mistakes. Should have another run on the board. Runner not advancing. Flaherty, when he got the base hit, the throw came to third and got away. Here's the 1-1 delivery, and that's going to go to short. Hardy, that's a tough play, and he's got to get it over, and not in time. It's an infield hit. Brantley, as he stung that one to the hole, and all the things that can go right for the Indians and wrong for the Orioles so far are happening in this game.
Again, the speed of Michael Brantley. Nice play by J.J. Hardy. But by the time he catches and gathers himself, bang, bang. Betamete a little bit late. Good call by Rob Drake over at first base.
So that's 8 hits on the board for the Indians. And the 8th batter to come to the plate is Duncan. Shelley Duncan has reached on an error and struck out. 2 on, 2 down. And the pitch will miss down low for a ball. The Indians not wanting to let another one of these big hit games get away from them, as they lost last night, even though they were able to out-hit the Orioles. The Orioles came back to win at 9-8, out-hit 16-10 by the Indians. Here's the 1-0 delivery, and Hunter will get the pitch on the outside corner.
Well, the Indians were down 3-1, 7-5 last night. They came back to tie it. This is a game where if Tommy Hunter can get out of this inning, you just don't know. Their bullpen back end, Perez good. Didn't even know he gave up a run last night.
And certainly Tomlin, from his numbers at least, their starter can be touched up for some hits and runs in the game. He said the benefit of big double plays.
Got to stop the bleeding somewhere. And Tommy's actually made 2 pretty good pitches, just unlucky.
2 ball, 1 strikeout. Duncan will take it, and that is a strike on the outside corner. 2-1.
Perfect little cut fastball. And the shadows do come into effect now. Of course, it doesn't seem to be affecting the Indians. But Hunter in the shade, sun, and then Shelley Duncan at home plate.
2-2 delivery to him, and that's there, and he got him. So Hunter does come on and stop the bleeding there at least, but it is a 3-run 4th inning, and the Indians extend their lead to 5-1.
umpire, and he kept pecking him in the forehead with his hat, back and forth like a little bird. And of course, he was the skipper of the Orioles, and that's when actually Jerry Neudecker turned Earl's hat around. So from then on, when Earl would go out and argue a play, he'd actually run around and take his hat and turn it upside down.
Jimmy on Earl, the sculpture unveiling today for number 4. And Earl Weaver joining us here in the second inning.
Well, a lot of guys commenting, Eddie and all that, are just saying, boy, did those things really happen? Because he was such a good manager, and we had such good teams, and he really, he liked some umpires.
In the air by Jones, deep to right, and that's going to fall off the base of the wall. Adam Jones putting up the doubles. He had a leadoff double in the second inning. He's got another here in the fourth.
Well, we told you, it's not over. Fourth inning. Guy that's been struggling, 1-3 with a 5.9 ERA in June, and you've seen Adam down the line and now right center. So talk about using the whole field. There's perfect illustration.
So
is waiting, yeah.
The Orioles can battle back here. It's hit number 4. Here is Wilson Betemit. Betemit hit into a double play his first time up.
But sharply.
9-game hit streak for him. Betemit will take the pitch for a strike. He's had 5 straight multi-hit games as part of that 9-game hit streak he is in. Going 15 for 29 coming into the ball game. 0 for 1 in this one.
And we'll see if he's going to actually try to move Adam Jones to third. You're still early enough in the game that I would think situational hitting should come into play.
And if you don't pull the ball to the right side, you got a pretty big hole and a pitch away to try and put it through the shortstop hole, because they've moved the shortstop Cabrera over towards second base. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Tomlin's pitch, he stayed away on all of those, and it goes to 2-1.
Yeah, they'd like to pitch Wilson, and we've seen him. He's gotten more upright at the plate, but he's also gotten a lot more fastballs to hit. He's a terrific fastball hitter. And great power from this side of the plate.
Betemit hitting .385 in June. You got to go back to B.J. Surhoff in 2003 for the last time somebody had that kind of a June season for the Orioles. Our Hollywood Casino League leaderboard, slots, tables, and dining. The ultimate triple play at Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races. See the batting averages in June. Mauer, Trout, and then Betemit. Cespedes, Escobar, Zobrist, and Rios on that list, and some very big numbers pumped up there by those players in the month of June. Surhoff back in 03 hit .394 in the month of June.
Well, one of those years I think he had like 207, 215 hits. One of my favorite players because of his work ethic. BJ came up as a number 1 draft choice out of University of North Carolina. He could play third, he could play left.
Watch this backswing on the catcher's mask. Oh. Not bad enough. You got a foul balls off me. Now you got to hit me on the top of the head with a bat.
That's why they wear the helmet. You could see. Not that it doesn't still get your attention.
3 ball, 2 strike count. Jones at second base. Betemit inside to him and a breaking ball, and he's on.
Well, there's your scouting report. As you mentioned, a guy hitting almost 500, actually over 500, 15 for 29. You know the scouting report says get him out with breaking balls, curve balls. But at the end of the day, your decision as a pitcher, can I get it over? Well, the answer is no.
Maniac is shaking his head. What would you do to have your chance to run the Orioles? Head over to Facebook.com/MasonOrioles. Enter to win a dinner with Buck Showalter. Your chance to go one-on-one with the O's manager. And you can bring a guest. And Masson will take care of the tab. Enter now through July 1st. 2 on. Nobody out. Chris Davis, strikeout victim. Takes the pitch for a strike. Well, the Orioles get another shot at it here. The Orioles have had a base runner on in all 4 innings. They pushed across just the 1 run. 5-8-0 for the Indians. They've left 7. The Orioles 1-4-1. They've left 2. Delivery to Davis. Close but not quite. Framed by Marson, the catcher, for an extra second. Goes to 1-1.
You can see doing everything to try to stay out of the middle of the plate, which is a great idea, but if you can't throw strikes, they will be very futile.
Here's the 1-1 delivery. Davis takes it away. Goes to 2-1.
So for Tomlin, yeah, he's got a curveball. Can he throw it over? Well, sometimes we've seen him do that. He can throw 88 to 90. Can he command it? No. Well, that's why they're hitting 370. Yeah, exactly. That's why the average is so high.
Here's the 2-1 delivery on the way to Davis in the air to right field. At his way back. Goodbye. Home run. A 3 RBI shot makes it a 1-run ball game.
And the other, or at least one of his other pitches, can you command your changeup? Well, Chris Davis said, I'm very happy that you hung one. Threw it right down the middle, and there's home run number 13. Earl Weaver Day, 3-run home run. It's all coming together.
The Orioles have done that 2 games in a row now, as Matt Wieters had the 3 RBI homer in the ballgame last night. And here is Wieters, who will take it inside for a ball.
Well, you had 2-0 and just a hanging changeup. And Josh Thomas is just going to put his head down. Speeds up the bat, and Chris Davis is a strong guy.
That goes to second base. Kipnis will retire Wieters, and that is the first out of the inning. A double, a walk, and a 3-run homer by Chris Davis has made it a 5-4 game. Davis, this has been quite the ballpark for him this year. He's hitting just under 300 now here at Camden Yards, almost 50 points higher than he does on the road, and 10 of his 13 home runs have been hit here at Camden Yards. So the Orioles get back, and the pitch is taken for a strike. Mark Reynolds drew a walk and scored in the 3rd inning.
So let's see, what did Mark tell us yesterday? I used to hit in Arizona. I stood a little more upright, higher head, which is what he has. Let's see if it works. Well, 2 perfect pitches though, down and away. And
Tomlin has surrendered 12 home runs in the year, and 10 of those have been hit by left-handers.
Gary, it's not what he had in mind when they got him a 5-1 lead.
This is where Cleveland has had so many problems. Their record at 500, their starters, their pitching overall just has not been able to get the job done for them. And the Orioles are an advantageous team. Open a door, they will come in. It is foul back, and the count will remain at 1-2 strikes. And the Indian starters ranked 13th in the league with an ERA of 4.6.
And they actually have a guy that can actually pitch well. I mean, you got one of your starters. You had one of your non-starters that started, but you have one of your starters now in the game.
And a swing and a miss. 2 down.
So the bad news, it's 5-4, but the good news for Josh Tomlin, and he's going to make another good pitch. A little cutter. It's up a little bit, but right on the corner, is that he still has a lead. And that's what run support has. And he got 4.34, so they've exceeded his normal run support already this afternoon.
2 down. Flaherty will take it inside. Flaherty singled his first time up, 3 for 7 in the series. And here we go again. 9 runs on 13 hits combined, and we're only in the 4th inning, as these 2 teams have chosen to play offensive baseball. Shift put on against Flaherty a bit as they move Cabrera over to second and Lopez in at third. Flaherty takes the pitch away, and it's a strike called. 2-1. Ryan Flaherty, of course, moving all over the place this season for Buck Showalter in the infield and the outfield. 2-1 delivery and a check swing, foul ball. Flaherty, he's been at second base for 4 games, third base. This is the 6th start there. He's had 5 starts in left field, 8 starts in right field. He and Andino provide the maneuverability that Buck Showalter likes to have. 2-2. Ground ball towards short. Cabrera. And he gets it. But the Orioles will come up with 3 runs. They do it on 2 hits. Leave nobody on. The big blow coming by Davis with 2 on ahead of him. His 13th home run of the season. It's a 5-4 Indians lead. Part of the Legends Series that's going on this summer. Earl Weaver, between innings, standing and being recognized by the fans here at Camden Yards with his family around him. Even throwing a few kisses there.
That was to Joe West.
That's right. 5-4 ball game. And Earl loving it. That's great.
Well, one thing about baseball wise, and Marianne Weaver, terrific lady, and she said today, we're coming to yours. We're not gonna miss that. I said, well, I want you to come. No, I'm only kidding. But boy, does it bring back great memories when you honor somebody like Earl.
Casey Kochman down to first base. Benavides got it. Kochman retired. Tommy Hunter remains on the mound. 2110 Utah Street, presented by Southwest Airlines, returns to Camden Yards tomorrow. The Birds, the Indians, 135, one low price, a reserve Utah Street bleacher seat. The exclusive 2110 Utah Street t-shirt. Space is limited, so join Nick Markakis, Adam Jones fans. For tickets, call 888-848-BIRD or Orioles.com. That's for tomorrow. Nick Markakis not going on the road trip with the Orioles. They'll leave for Seattle after the ball game. Nick's still talking about trying to get back before the All-Star break. Nick Showalter doesn't think so. Nick's going to give it a try.
Yeah, I don't really look at that as a negative because he'll spend time here. He'll get treatment. I understand Mike Bordick, Terry Crowley, the organizational hitting instructor, they'll do some work. And if that wound heals in his hand from the hand bone. And in this game, Gary, I look at this. We talk so much. They had trouble, not in this series, because they beat Chen, a left-hander, and then they knocked Andy Evelyn around, who wasn't commanding his stuff. But now you have a pretty good matchup. You got Hunter against some right-handers that normally would not be playing.
Yeah. 0-2 delivery on the way, punch down the line in right field. That's going to be a base hit. Going to roll into the corner. Davis going over to get it. Marson on his way to second. Davis can't come up with it. Marson's on his way to third. Marson's going to go in with a triple. A one-out triple for the backup catcher, who's having himself a series. 2 for 3 in this ball game and 4 for 7 in the series now.
Yeah, they're hoping that Carlos Santana gets back the way Marson is hitting. Came over in the Cliff Lee trade when they knew they were going to lose him. Well, take a look for yourself. I mean, it's just outside middle. What's your approach? Going to hit it down the right field line. We didn't really have a chance to see this, but the ball just hits the wall. That's where the ground screw is, and then kicks away, and he keeps running. And your point, well taken. Hey, get to third with 1 out versus second. Huge.
His second triple. The infield is halfway in. Aaron Cunningham takes the pitch for a strike.
Well, just strike him out. That's all.
Yep, that's what
you're
want
throwing.
Right
95, 96. This guy's a defensive guy. He only plays against lefties. Punch him out.
Hitting 181 overall. Cunningham does have an 0 for 2 so far in the ball game. He struck out, grounded out, and will punch that foul. So Hunter does get ahead of him.
So now make a pitch. This is what the game is all about if you're going to win. And Tommy, again, I look at him and I think there's a lot more than he sometimes is able to show you. I don't mean it's, you can talk all about the 1-2. That's Buck Showalter. But at the end of the day, this is one of those can-do moments. Can you do it? And he's got the stuff to do that.
The 0-2, and that's going to be outside. Cunningham hitting 190 against right-handers. Tommy Hunter coming on to finish up in the 4th inning. Gave up a couple of singles, got a strikeout. Now working with the runner at third base and a 1-ball 2-strike count, 1 away. Infield stays in. Inside almost clipped the pants. And a 2-ball 2-strike count on Cunningham.
Okay, so he's in the shade. You're in the sun. Just buzz one down and away at about 94 and take your chances. They're playing shallow and right and in center. Infield in. Tommy more comfortable away anyway.
2-2 delivery to him. That's what he needed, and that's what he got.
The moment of truth. You have good stuff. You make good pitches. You have a guy that you could put a pencil around. No disrespect, Aaron. But and then you make the perfect pitch. Just what the Orioles needed to stay close.
Now big at bat, but the Orioles down by just 1. Here's the hitter who's been doing him in this series. Chu has scored all 3 times he's come to the plate in this game. A single, a home run, a walk. Crossing the plate each time. He's got a 5-game hit streak. 2 down, and the pitch will be inside. Runner at third base. Chu has now picked up 6 hits in 10 at bats in this series and has 4 RBIs and 2 home runs.
Now you really don't have much of a choice here because Cabrera red hot right behind him. 1 for 6 lifetime though.
And that pitch is going to be taken inside. Hunter with a 2-0 count on Chu. First base is open. Boy, as Jim said, you get Cabrera.
Well, not only to get him up, Gary, what happens is your first baseman is going to hold him on because Chu can run, so it opens up a hole.
And there's a good off-speed breaking ball.
Well, what I see from Tommy Hunter today, and we don't always see when he starts, is great arm speed. Watch this curveball. I mean, this is a hard hook. Yeah, that's a high strike zone, but a lot of times it's kind of a, you used the word last night, a meandering stream. Well, you don't want your curveball to meander.
It'll meander right out of the yard.
Exactly.
Chu will foul that one back 2-2.
So 94. It's so great to see this from a guy that today is showing what I've always thought he had.
Tommy Hunter facing the Indians for only the 3rd time in his career. He's got a 1-0 record against them. Fans making some noise, looking for the final out. A 1-out triple. Marson still at 3rd, now with 2 down. Chu 2-2. And a full count.
Almost got the back kneecap. Yeah, it's tough to know where to go, Gary, because 2 of the home runs, in fact, both of the home runs have been up and away. So he's trying to get in. Can he do it?
Full count here. Here's the 3-2 delivery on the way, and that one's going to be blooped into center field for an RBI base hit. And the Orioles just cannot find a way to get Chu out. His 2nd RBI of the ball game and his 5th of the series makes it 6-4.
Yeah, again, a little hanger. The good curveball, and it just stays up where he can elevate it over the infield for the 6th run.
What a job Chu has done here in this series.
Well, Gary, you go back before he hurt last year, he broke his thumb. He got hit by a pitch. And when he's healthy, and Manny Acta talked about it on Thursday, we can keep him on the field. And we can get him back healthy like he was a couple of years ago. And he's their best player, even though Cabrera had a great year last year.
That is a fair ball down the line off the bat of Cabrera. Davis giving chase. Chu with great speeds being waved around again. Trouble digging it out of the corner. It'll be a double and an RBI for Cabrera. His third hit of the game. His second RBI of the game. And it is 7-4.
Wow, they just don't stop hitting. Take a look. Look at the target. And it's right down the middle. And Asdrubal Cabrera doesn't miss it. He didn't miss it last night. Didn't miss it on Thursday. Boy, they're getting a lot of good pitches to hit. And when they don't, they're outs. You are seeing baseball as the way it's supposed to be. Good hitters hit hittable pitches. And when you make good pitches to good hitters, you usually get them out.
Top of the order has really done a number here. Chu now has scored all 4 times in the ball game that he's reached base. Cabrera's got 3 hits and 2 RBIs. Chu has got 3 hits and 2 RBIs. Kipnis coming to the plate has picked up an RBI and a ground ball out, and Lopez right behind him's 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs. So Jason Kipnis will stand in against Hunter in what looked like an inning where Hunter was going to work his way out of it after he got 2 down with Marson on at third. They'll challenge the tag at third by Chu, and nope, to no avail. Whether Chu touched the bag coming around.
And then Tommy threw the Ephus pitch over to third.
Intentional pass is going to be surrendered to Kipnis. And that will put runners at first and second for Lopez. So this Indians team, we told you, hot ball club over the last 4, now 5 games. They've got 11 hits on the board again. 7 runs and 11 hits. We're in the 5th inning. Last night was the first time the Indians have lost a game where they scored 8 runs and out-hit an opponent with 16 or more hits since 2009. All that happened in the ball game last night when the Orioles beat them 9-8 despite a 16-hit Indian attack.
Yeah, Derek Lowe was talking about the 3-run home run he threw to Wieters, and he said not a very smart decision. And then of course it ended up on Utah Street. Cabrera hit one. It's only the second time I think Utah Street home runs in the same game, and Palmeiro did that.
Yep.
And there is Derek Lowe. So another, boy, a lot of big moments in this game.
Lopez will send that one into the seats foul. Lopez with 2 singles, 2 RBIs. He has also struck out, hitting at .241 on the year, and now with 25 runs batted in.
And he's the first batter that Tommy Hunter faced, and he hit a ball that Hardy couldn't catch in the hole.
That's down the line, and that's foul. Talking about Utah Street, there have been 7 home runs hit on Utah Street this season. The record is 8. That was set in 2008. So the next one that goes out there will tie the all-time mark for home runs in a year onto Utah Street. Only been 2 years without a Utah Street homer, 2010 and 1993. Here's the 0-2 delivery in the way, and that ball got tomahawked up in the air. Third base, Flaherty over, and will not have a play.
Well, Jose Lopez be able to get the bat head to everything on the inside part of the plate. And then the base hit he got was on a 3-2 cutter that somehow fouled, or at least grounded into the hole, and didn't hit it very well, but just found a hole. So how about pitching out of the zone? Down.
Here's the 0-2 delivery, and that ball's going to go to center. That's a base hit. Cabrera's coming around. He'll score. Runner will stop at second. Jones commits an error. Adam Jones just did not pick up the baseball. He will be charged with an error, allowing Kipnis to move over to third. Lopez's third hit and third RBI of the game makes it 8-4.
Well, right here again, there's no excuse for this. Not going to be a play. Of course, he picks it up. Of course, he doesn't get in the glove, and there's not going to be a play to the plate. It's just A little lack of focus, and then talk about a meandering breaking ball, a hanging 1-2 pitch, and Lopez just serves it into center field.
Boy, what a day the Indians are having. 8 runs on 12 hits. Lopez, a 3 RBI ball game for him now. Runners again at first and third as Kipnis moves up on the error. Kipnis was standing at second, going nowhere when Adam Jones just dropped the ball. Off the glove of Hunter to Roberts to short. They'll get the force out. But a big 3-run inning as the Indians get them right back. The Orioles in the 4th inning had closed it. Now it's 8-4. He or the Orioles head up for, so you go to the long man Hunter. Also in the back of Buck Showalter's mind tomorrow, it's Brian Mattis on the mound. And Showalter was talking about it before the game today. He says, I also got to think about what happens if Brian Mattis gets knocked out of the ball game early. Then where do I go? That's part of the tough part of managing when you're looking ahead like that.
Well, it is, here we are. We have the Earl Weaver statue. He won, 58% of his games? So he won 1,400 games, and he did manage a team that sometimes played like this. And when you do, you get doubled up. The one thing about Earl, and I think we've seen Buck do this today, he managed for today. So you bring in Tommy Hunter, you hope he's going to pitch well, throwing the ball all right, but there's a big difference between throwing the ball and pitching well. He made some good pitches, and then he made some ones where they're not so good.
Well, the Orioles now are asking the bats to come back again as they trail by a score of 8-4. We're still only in the 5th inning of this ball game. And for Tomlin, he gets a little light as Tomlin gave up the 3 runs and a 3-run homer by Davis in the 4th inning. Brian Roberts, 1-ball, 1-strike delivery to him. Will foul that one off. Roberts, an RBI and a sac fly, and has drawn a walk in the game against Tomlin. He now has 3 hits in 6 at-bats, including 1 home run. One ball, 2-strike delivery. And Roberts in the air to left field. Hit it hard, but it'll stay up, covered by Cunningham. 1 down, 5th inning. We're talking about home runs. To those 2 shots on Utah Street, I was looking. The Baltimore Sun has a category of home runs statistics. The longest home run ever hit here at Camden Yards, Evan Longoria, and it was not Utah Street. In fact, it was the other way. A 473-foot drive measured in left field. The longer home runs in this ballpark, kind of ironically, have not been the Utah Street homers. Strawberry had one to right center, second longest. Pedro Munoz had one. The longest here by an Oriole player was Jeffrey Hammonds, who had a 460-foot shot to center field. The shortest home run was B.J. Surhoff, 314 feet to right field. I don't know how you can do that since it says it's 318 down the line.
Yeah, well, maybe it depends. Well, I don't think they made the fence a little lower this year, but it did. I never thought they brought it in. The Trumbull hit one off Tommy Hunter. Yeah. A curveball the other night that kind of went left of the bullpen, way out there by the, as Jim Hunter described it, the sod farm. Looks like grass to me. There's a good changeup. So
Avery out of there.
Yeah, so, Josh Tomlin, he's just going to mess around with the young hitters. He gets ahead. Watch this little changeup. It's about making good pitches.
3 strikeouts now for Tomlin. And that will bring up Hardy. Tomlin has been a pitcher who, despite the fact he's been hit hard, he stays in ball games. He's noted for the quality starts. Oh my gosh.
What was that?
A little
about?
Bob Uecker pitch right there. Just a little bit outside, and now a warning.
Whoa, what was this all
has been
about?
issued by Mike Estabrook, and I don't really know why.
Well, because how often do you ever see a ball behind somebody?
2 down, 5th inning, 4-run lead. If you're going to do it for a reason, that's when you do it.
Oh, but there's no reason.
Buck Showalter, well, we don't know of a reason. Now, Buck Showalter is coming out, and Estabrook saying, no, don't come out here.
Well, Bobby wants to know why you're warning. So, again, it really penalizes both people, but there is no reason to do it. And I know that we may not know about something, but even if you, it can't. What I'm saying, I guess the logical thing, when you're ahead 8-4, get them out. What are you
ground ball
throwing at
towards the
anybody?
middle. That'll be handled by Cabrera. And what a great running throw. Did he stay in the bag? Yes, he did. And a 1-2-3 inning for Tomlin, and both managers are still trying to figure out what was that warning all about. Masterson. Our coverage on Masson 2 will begin at 1 with those extra presented by Jeep, followed by our game coverage at 1:30 on Masson 2 and WJZ. All the access you need right here on Masson.
Yeah, you could see Justin Masterson. We know him, big guy that throws real hard. Anytime you're 4-7, giving up 4 runs a game, you know you're not getting a lot of runs scored. And then for Brian Mattis, just trying to be able to be more consistent, because he hasn't been as good as anybody once.
We go to the 6th inning. An 8-4 lead for the Indians, out hitting the Orioles 12-5 in the ball game. Duncan, the only Indian who did not bat in the 5th inning, will take the pitch away. So the last 2 innings, the Indians have sent 8 batters to the plate in each inning and have scored 3 runs in each inning. 2-0 count. Tommy Hunter in relief of Dana Evelyn. Way up in the air. Avery going back to the wall, and goodbye, home run. So Duncan delivers the long ball as he really got underneath that one and skied it. His 5th home run of the season and his 15th RBI.
So for Tommy Hunter, home run number 20. And very much like the one Mark Trumbull of the Angels hit, which is a high curveball. This is, I don't even know what it was. It just didn't break. It was a breaking ball that hung. And Shelley Duncan says, thank you very much. I mean, right here. Big guy, tall guy, belt high. Just a matter of getting it into the air. And
Casey Kochman puts one in the air to right. Davis coming in. He's in the Sun field. He's got it. One away, 6th inning. Mid-Atlantic Sports Report returns Monday 5 to 7. Tom Davis, Phil Wood, Dave Johnson, Mel Antonin. All the latest O's news, headlines, and a look at the road trip coming up before the All-Star break for the Orioles. And they'll have an analysis of the Orioles All-Star selections. That's Monday at 5 on Masson. Don't forget All-Star Selection Day is tomorrow. We'll follow that for you during the ball game as to the starting lineups for the American and National Leagues, and then the managers will be selecting the remaining parts of the roster with assistance from Major League Baseball's front office and input from coaches and managers. Try and fill out the rosters as to needs for both leagues. Lou Marson up. Marson a triple, a single, struck out, 2 runs scored in the ball game. And Hunter's pitch will be taken for a ball. Well, a ball game getting away from the Orioles for the moment, at least 9-4 after they'd cut it to a 1-run lead in the 4th inning. The Indians are wailing away here on this afternoon evening ball game.
No, that's what they did on Thursday. And how did they do it? 2 3-run home runs, 2 3-run innings, and you look up at the scoreboard this afternoon, 4th and 5th. Couple of 3 spots. That adds up.
Here's the 1-2 delivery. And that's taken outside. A 2-ball, 2-strike count. Yankees have already won their ball game 4-0 today, so the Orioles starting 4 games behind the Yankees. They picked a game up last night. That's fouled away. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Marson. The Orioles will be heading out west of coast for the 3 games in Seattle and then a big 4-game set against the Angels in Anaheim. And then it will be, amazingly, I think, the All-Star break. The All-Star game in Kansas City. 2-2 delivery, and that's fouled back. The Orioles then will open up against Detroit. Just a 3-game homestand after the All-Star break, and then back on the road. 4 in Minnesota and 4 in Cleveland. Tommy Hunter, 2-ball, 2-strike count. In the air, left center field. He got all of that one. Jones giving chase, will not get there. It'll go up and over, and that's a ground rule double. And Tommy Hunter not fooling anybody today. Hit number 14.
Well, he just can't get the breaking ball down. High ball umpire, high ball pitcher, high ball hitters, not a good combination.
And that will be it for Tommy Hunter in the ball game, as he's going to come out. 7 hits off Hunter in his limited activity here, and the Indians have a 9-4 lead. brought to you by PNC Bank for the Achiever and you. Jim and Rick will take a look back on however this game finishes. Mike Showalter will be with the press. We'll have a look in on that. Player interviews and more all coming up. So the Orioles going to the bullpen. Third pitcher to be used by the Orioles as Hunter's out of the game.
Tommy just up in the zone. Ayala, he came in on Thursday night and away in Chen's ball game. Hung a slider to Asdrubal Cabrera, 3-run home run. Those are the numbers you can see. Throws a lot of strikes, almost a hit per innings. And again, one of those two home runs against left-handers on Thursday night, right around the foul pole here at Camden Yards.
Tommy Hunter responsible for the runner at second base. Aaron Cunningham pops it up outside of first, and there's room. That'll meet over there to put it away. So Cunningham retired on a pitch, and that'll be the second out in the 6th inning, leaving Marson on at second base rather, and the top of the order. And can they find a way to get Chu out? 2 singles, a walk, a home run, 4 runs scored, and 2 RBIs. 1 player. Shin-Soo Choo, his 5th 3-hit ball game. He's not had a 4-hit game this year, but he's going to have a chance in this ball game to have his first. Outside, the Indians today, Cabrera's had a 3-hit game, his 5th. Chu's had a 3-hit game, his 5th. Lopez a 3-hit game, his 2nd. Lou Marson a 3-hit game, his 2nd. 1-0 delivery, and Chu takes it. It's in there for a strike. That one also at the knees. Ayala gets ahead of him. A ball and 2 strikes on Chu.
Yeah, we've seen him hit a lot of balls up in the zone, and Luis trying to stay out of that area. Back-to-back 300 years, back-to-back 20 home run years, back-to-back 20 stolen base years, high on base percentage.
1-2 delivery to him. Watches that one go by outside. And a 2-ball, 2-strike count. They've got double digits in hits and now trying to get double digits in runs if he picks up a base hit here. Here's the 2-2 delivery to him. Second baseman Roberts can't get it. He does. Making the turn and coming in to score Marson. Here's the throw to the plate to the cutoff man. A 4-hit ball game, I think, for Chu. And another RBI, which would be his 3rd of the game.
Yeah, sinking line drive. Does the play get made every once in a while? Maybe, but I mean, that's a rocket. Short hop, probably the most difficult play for an infielder. Top spin. You see him again. He finally gets one down. Great expansion, and then you just hope that you can get the glove on it. Brian couldn't, and it goes over his shoulder, off his glove into the right field for another run.
And here's Asdrubal Cabrera. 10 runs on 15 hits for the Indians. Cabrera, he's had a couple of singles, a double, 2 RBIs, 2 runs scored. Cabrera now at 299 on the year. 1-0 delivery to him, and that's going to miss outside from Ayala. Oriole pitchers really getting bounced around by this Cleveland lineup today, and actually last night, of course, the lineup put some numbers up. The Orioles had one more than the Indians did at the end, and that's going to be outside, and the count goes to 3-0.
It's been a tough week. We started with the Angels, 7-13. And then the Cleveland came in.
Here's the 3-0 and 4 straight. So Ayala surrenders the walk. Runners on at first and second with 2 down for Kipnis.
And you keep trying to make good pitches, and when you don't, they're hitting them. And then when you walk guys, you have another guy or more guys coming up that, I mean, Kipner's their best runner in scoring position guy. His last bat came in at what, at 378? Started the series at 380.
Kipnis was given an intentional pass that did not work his last time up, as Lopez followed him to the plate with a single.
All you have to do is look at the scorecard today, and they're not getting the guys out that you would anticipate you would get out if you made good pitches.
That one misses, looking in Ayala, and a 1-ball 1-strike count. So Kipnis runners on at first and second base. Ayala trying to find this elusive third out here in this inning. Kipnis waiting on a 1-1. That'll catch the outside corner, and a 1-ball 2-strike count. Final line on Tommy Hunter: 5 runs, 8 hits in an inning and 2/3. 1 intentional walk and 2 strikeouts. So each of the Orioles' first 2 pitchers gave up 5 runs, Evelyn and Hunter. That'll be chopped down to first. That's going to be a foul ball played there by Ayala.
And with Jason Kipnis' speed, almost beat out a 2-hopper to third base on Thursday night. And he's young and he runs every ball out hard. I'd like to see that.
They like what they see. Kipnis back to the plate looking for his first hit. He's been involved in the game, certainly. Hit by a pitch, RBI and a ground ball out, intentionally walked, has a stolen base, robbed of a hit by Avery in the first inning. Here's the 1-2 delivery to him, and a chopper to Brian Roberts. Short hop. Hits it over to first in time to record the out. But Duncan let it off for the home run. Another RBI single by Chu. 2 more in for Cleveland.
Very good play off the bat of Kipnis in the first. And Evelyn, of course, would get roughed up. 5 runs. Chu, a couple of home runs in this series so far. And then Orioles trailing. Chris Davis with a 3-run shot gets him back into the game. At that time, they try 5-4. Shelley Duncan with a home run off of Tommy Hunter, who also gives up 5 runs. So the Indians, they have their hitting shoes on. And Josh Tomlin says, just keep them coming. I'm going to try to get him out here in the 6th.
After his 4th win against 5 losses, 27-year-old right-hander Tomlin. Adam Jones, 2 doubles, a run scored in the ball game. Roberts a sac fly RBI. Davis a 3-run homer, accounting for the Orioles' runs today. Orioles have to start more than just chipping away. The number of base runners the Indians have put on here in this series so far, pretty amazing. They've got 10 runs on 15 hits, and they've left 11 on base in the game. They left 12 on in the ball game last night. 2 strikeout. Tomlin's delivery outside, scooped up by Marson.
Yeah, the Orioles, even though they won 9-8, they don't win if the Indians play good defense in the first. Not that the Orioles played Didn't make any errors, but they misplayed a couple of balls. Didn't, heck, 3. Fly ball that dropped, a double play that didn't get turned. And they don't always come up on the in the final numbers, but you don't miss those. Sometimes you luck out and you win, sometimes you don't. Just not playing very good baseball. And really, to me, it all starts with what I used to do, and not me, but just what we used to do as starters. You set the whole. I mean, you just set.
Just missed away.
I mean, the tempo for a game is: do you pitch well? Do you pitch quickly? Do you throw strikes? All the things that Ray Miller used to talk. George Bamberger, all for Earl Weaver with his pitching coaches.
Here's the 2-2 delivery, and he got him.
Yeah, again, not easy to see. You would never know that when the Indians are hitting. But if you make good pitches, you have a chance. And Adam not happy with it. He's not happy with the scoreboard. That ball actually, Marson off the plate, the ball tails back and actually looked like it might have gotten some of the plate.
And that'll be fouled off by Wilson Benameat. So Tomlin certainly not in cruise control today, but because of the runs on the board with that 10-4 lead, able to throw more strikes than he might otherwise do.
And he's also qualified for the win.
Here's the 0-1 delivery. He gets him out here in the 6th inning. He's going to feel pretty good. The Indians have not lost a ball game where they've had a lead after 6 innings this year, despite the fact their bullpen hasn't been that good. They're 14-0 with a lead after 6. Down the line, left field. Cunningham is over. Not going to get it. Goes off the top of the wall. Benameat goes into second base, and he's got a double and a 10-game hit streak.
Yeah, I suppose you can just put 2-3 runs on the board, feel like you're back in the game, get the bullpen up. Never know what that's going to happen. We've already seen Tommy Hunter, the Orioles bullpenner, come in and they roughed him up for 5 runs. You just never know in this game.
So Chris Davis, he delivered the big blow in the 4th inning that at the moment pulled the Orioles within 1. 10 of his 13 have come here at Camden Yards. 3 RBI homer in the 4th was his 13th. He has also struck out. Runner at second, 1 away, as the Orioles have their 6th hit of the ball game. Now the Orioles have used the long ball all season long, late in ball games. 40 home runs in the 7th inning or later in a game. And that pitch will be taken up high, and a 2-0 count, and the Indians bullpen active.
Yeah, and this is where Tomlin got into trouble because he tried to throw Chris a 2-0 changeup and hung it. When you get behind hitters, a little bit more difficult to make the quality pitches you'd like.
This Mill Rogers up. Ground ball right into the hole. They were playing him the other way. Benameat will head over to third base. And the Orioles have runners at first and third for the 6th inning attempt to get back with Wieters coming up.
Yeah, another good at bat because, again, he works the count in his favor. Tomlin not even close, and then he has a quality at bat. Really stayed on that ball into left field.
7 hits in the ball game now for the Orioles, and they're going to give that bullpen a little time here. Scott Rudensky is going to come out very slowly.
Well, we saw Rogers on Thursday night, Gary, and he's a young pitcher that had an 8-point ERA up in Colorado. He actually threw the ball very well, but he had a substantial lead. So if he came in the bullpen now, that would still be the case. But I talked to some scouts that saw him in the National League, and he can get out of his windup in a hurry. So you just never know.
Wieters waiting. Home plate umpire Mike Estabrook going up to break it up here. This obviously is just a meeting to draw time for the pen.
You know, and an important point here is that, and I think you get away from it when you're a modern day pitcher, is that you can still control, with 85 pitches, maybe an inning or two of your destiny. There's no, not that the bullpen isn't good or they can't get the job done, but 85 pitches every 5th day. Come on, make us some pitches. Why just because you have a lead do you have to kind of throw the white flag up there and say, oh, let's go to the bullpen? I mean, Curt Schilling, when Ponson used to do it here and then tip his hat, and Curt was pitching for the Red Sox, he'd go crazy. What are you tipping your hat for? You were horrible. They just happened to get you a bunch of runs when you pitched that day. That's not pitching. That's just getting out there.
And Matt Wieters, and he'll take the pitch on the inside corner for a strike. Largest increase in batting average from 1 month to the other, May to June. Look at the numbers there. 115 improvement for Wieters. Look at Hayward and Zobrist.
Well, Ben I looked at him. He was about 202 when we were down there. He's up around 250. So, well, he's too good a hitter to hit 200.
Chopper to short. Cabrera's got to back up, go to second one. Relay none. Run will score. It is a 10-5 ball game. Wieters will be credited for the RBI on the fielder's choice, bringing Betterman home. The force out on Davis down at second base.
I'll take a look again. Tomlin would like to maybe get a pop-up, a little change-up, and he's got to backpedal. The minute he backpedals, you know you're not going to get a double play, and Chris Davis is going to make sure of that.
Wieters gets RBI number 38. He's at first base now with 2 down, and Mark Reynolds.
And he's
Reynolds has walked and struck out. And the pitch down and away to him. So the Orioles make it 10-5 with a run in here in the 6th inning, and now looking for the long ball right here off the bat of Mark Reynolds. Here's the 0-1. Fouled it back. Tomlin gets ahead on the count, 2 strikes. Reynolds with 6 home runs and only 22 RBIs. The production the Orioles had hoped from him is not there yet. Drew a walk, scored first time up, struck out second time up. Here's the 0-2 delivery. That's in the dirt. Good stop made by Marson. Orioles, of course, had led in the home run department in the American League for a long time. They came into today's game tied for 3rd. The Yankees, too, have been living and dying off the homer, recapturing first place in the division. 1 ball, 2 strike count. And that pitch is going to miss outside.
Yeah, pretty good take right there.
Home run leaders: Yankees number 1, Toronto number 2, and Baltimore 3rd. Right behind the Orioles, Texas. 2-2. Off the mask of Marson.
So Betamine knocked it off on a backswing, and Reynolds fouls his mask off.
He'll be ready for Carlos Santana to get back and catch tomorrow.
Well, but Lou's saying, I'm undaunted. I've struck out, but then I singled, doubled, and tripled. He's a home run away from the cycle.
He has had a tremendous series. 2 ball, 2 strike count, 2 down. Reynolds, good eye as he watches that go by.
Matt, you roll over on a breaking ball. I mean, it was under the strike zone.
So a 3 ball, 2 strike count. Orioles with 2 away, putting 1 run across here in the 6th, trying to do more. Reynolds can keep it alive. Ryan Flaherty waiting on deck. Wieters not being held. He takes off. 3-2. Ground ball towards second base. It'll be played by Kipnis, who will get it over there for the out. So the Orioles will pick up a run on a couple of hits. They leave up 1 on. It is a 10-5 game. Matt Wieters orange Orioles replica jersey. Don't miss this great addition to your Birdland wardrobe when the Orioles come home after the All-Star break. That's Friday, July 13. Get your tickets in advance, 888-848-BIRD, to go to Orioles.com. It's turned out to be a really beautiful afternoon here at Camden Yards. We've started 94 degrees, some clouds. Clouds have all dissipated. And right now, just a really pretty, if warm afternoon. And certainly for the Indians, hot bats.
Well, yeah, it's just amazing. Of course, they started this road trip in Houston. They lost 2 out of 3, went to New York. Got beat 3 in a row, and they were struggling for runs, but that ended when they showed up here.
It has been runs and hits galore for the Indians. Ayala stays on, and the pitch will be taken for a strike. Ayala came on, giving up a hit and a walk, getting the final 2 outs in the 6th inning. Lopez, he's looking for his first 4-hit day. 3 RBIs in the ballgame, 3 singles, and he has struck out. And he's going to get it. That's a base hit to center. So a 4-hit ball game for Lopez, getting the start at third base. Time to text in your vote for the AT&T Player of the Game. Here are the candidates. Sin-Soo Choo, look what a day. He has had 3 RBIs, home run, 4 hits. Chris Davis, who has delivered the big 3 RBI blow for the Orioles, and Lou Marson, who's had a 3-hit day and has scored 3 runs. Text in your vote, A, B, or C, 31826.
Yeah. Poor Jose, 4 hits and nothing.
Brantley goes to center.
I know he'll give him a couple of votes. He's starting pitcher.
Yeah.
Josh Tomlin.
He's looking for Lopez here with the 3 RBIs he's put into the ball game. It's actually his 4th 3 RBI game. Where Lopez putting up some good numbers. He's playing a lot.
Well,
Shelley Duncan.
Yeah, he had that one great year, and that was out in Seattle.
Cleveland has decided it's dinner time. Hardy at short will put it away, and there are 2 down.
You mean like when the Weave, Earl, used to make you go all the way from Miami to Fort Myers, 3.5-hour bus ride, and Kansas City would swing at the first pitch, and you would be standing there going, they'll never do that during the season.
Yes.
And they would go play golf and go to the movies, and you'd get back on the bus.
Yes, that's what I mean.
So that's
same thing here.
Yeah, okay. They're tired.
Or as the inimitable Dandy Don would have said, the party's over.
But it really isn't.
No, it isn't. The Orioles have shown the ability to come back in ball games, but you obviously
you got to pitch
not
well.
give any more to Cleveland.
I thought it was looking pretty good when Tommy Hunter got it to 5 and 4.
Hardy will go to first and will get the out. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. Our 7th inning stretch brought to you by Jack Daniel's Tennessee Honey. Fly straight, drink responsibly. Jim Palmer back. Lots of rumors floating around, and there will be lots more as the trading deadline will come at the end of July. Today, it's about the Orioles, maybe, and this is completely unofficial in rumor mill, acquiring Jim Thome to join the Orioles with a deal.
Well, it's 600-plus home runs. He had a great series in interleague against us, and he got to play because American League games, at least are in American League parks. I don't know,
Yeah, well, we were talking about the fact that means the Orioles pick up one more of what they have a lot of already.
Well, yeah, and where do you play Reynolds and where do you play Chris Davis? And, we'll wait and see. Hey, Dan Duquette's made a lot of good moves, but I still think they got to pitch. And as good as Jim is, and don't be wrong, folks, he's a fabulous guy, would be a great addition to this clubhouse, but they need pitching.
There you see it. The Orioles now have announced they've acquired Jim Thome from the Phillies in exchange for 2 minor leaguers, and he is expected to be in uniform here tomorrow. That means there's got to be another move, of course, as somebody's going to have to go. But Thome is now going to be a member of the Orioles, so now it is official.
Well, again, he brings a great presence. He's a great guy. He could still hit, showed us there. So we'll just see how this all plays out. But at the end of the day, you can get Thome in your uniform tomorrow. If they don't win today, it's all about Brian Mattis. Can he pitch well?
Jim Thome made a statement yesterday. He cannot play in the field anymore. He's tried 4 times to go to first base. His back is bad enough that he said, I just can't play. That's the reason that the deal was they were willing to let him go, because Thome was not going to be able to be in the field, and they felt as though they had to have somebody they could put out there to play defensively once in a while. And Thome said, I just can't do that anymore. So lots more to come on that as the Orioles have acquired Jim Thome. We go to the bottom half of the 7th inning. Here is Ryan Flaherty leading it off for the Orioles. He has singled and grounded out Roberts and Avery to follow. It's a tough announcement during a game which teams try and delay, but the rumors were so rampant this afternoon that it was out because somebody who's down there is not going to be there tomorrow. And they're not going to find out about it until after the game, and those who might go are now looking up at the scoreboard and realizing it's a done deal and one of us is going to leave. Here's the 0-2 delivery to Flaherty, and that's going to be fouled back. To the bullpen they go. Tomlin leaves with a chance to win.
Yeah, Ismail Rogers, we saw him on Thursday night, came over 13th of June, cash deal, 8-point ERA. Didn't look like a guy that would give up 8-point runs a game. Of course, he did strike out 10.2 per 9 innings.
Down to first, Kochman with that Gold Glove.
Well, he can pick it, and that's a baseball term for a guy that can just go out there, and when the ball's hit, you want it hit to him. He reminds me a lot of Tony Muser. Went on to manage Milwaukee, but we got him as somebody that Earl Weaver used to put in for defense late in the ball game. Lee May had over 350 home runs. Muse would come in, and similar type of glove.
So Tomlin looking for his 3rd win. The starter for the Indians out of there. 5 runs, 7 hits, 7 innings. Walked 3, struck out 4. The Orioles and the inability to hold down the Indians. He will give Tomlin a chance to be the winner. Here's the 1-0 delivery, and the pitch will be taken up high. Brian Roberts, sacrifice fly, 0 for 1. He has also picked up a walk in the game. Here's the 2-0 delivery, trying to get on, and the pitch is taken for a strike, 2-1.
Yeah, there's a couple of ways to beat people. You can out offense them or you can out defense them. Little Theo Epstein went back to when the Red Sox, after 86 years of not winning the World Series, one of the biggest moves that Theo made back in 2004 was Orlando Cabrera to play shortstop. Let Garcia Parra go to the Cubs. He was a terrific player, but Cabrera hit well, but defensively really turned the club around. There's what you need.
So the Orioles looking for base runners, get one here. Rogers surrenders the walk. Roberts on. Sunday, July 15, the first 20,000 fans 15 and over will receive a replica Orioles home cartoon bird cap presented by DAP. The new white panel home cap, popular with fans of all ages, and your chance to add to your lineup of birds outfits. At ALP playing the Tigers at 1:35 that day. 888-848-BIRD, Orioles.com, July 15. In at third base, Lopez. Avery will take the pitch for a strike. Avery is doubled, struck out, and hit into a double play. The Orioles had chances in the first 2 innings to get to the starter Tomlin. He walked Roberts in the first, but Avery hit into a sharp double play and a fine play by Kochman. Jones had a leadoff double in the second, ended up part of a double play on a line drive out. That ball is going to get away. That'll take away the ground ball double play here as Roberts goes down to second base.
Now you just want to try to eke out some runs and maybe have a big inning down the road, and there's a breaking ball.
Wild pitch.
Yeah. Ismael Rogers, very much like Pedro Strop of the Orioles, a former position player, who's now pitching for the Indians. And the word was, and somebody told me, that Eddie Rogers, a young shortstop that played briefly for the Orioles, this is his brother.
1-1 delivery on the way, and that is taken for a strike. They certainly are looking for Rogers to solidify a spot in that bullpen and help out where they had a real need, buying him from Colorado.
Well, the one guy that we haven't seen who's really having a nice year is Vinny Pestano. I don't know if that's a health issue or whatever, but he's got 18 holes. He's tied for first, and yet we haven't seen him.
That one is golfed foul.
Maybe he's there. We saw Joe Smith last night. He's having a nice year for him. Tony Sipp has been struggling. He's a left-hander, as has Nick Hagedorn. Cardo pitched last night, former Royal.
Rogers, 9th professional season, 6th as a pitcher. 1 ball, 2 strike counts. Jim said they made the change, converting him. Here's the 1-2 delivery on the way, and another slowly hit ground ball.
Well, Scott Radinsky, I was talking to him on the bench yesterday, and he's their pitching coach. And again, he was a left-handed reliever. He said he throws so hard, yet he still hasn't really developed his windup, even though he's been pitching, for 5 or 6 years. He doesn't have much of a leg kick. It's almost like, it reminds me of Rodimus Liz, who pitched briefly here. Didn't have the greatest windup, but had a great arm, as does Rogers.
Runner off second base, Roberts, 1-2 delivery. Well, Rogers had to be a middle infielder because he comes from the city where shortstops are born, not made. San Pedro de Macorís in the Dominican Republic. Many great shortstops. At one time, there were 6 major league shortstops all playing at the same time at the major league level, coming from that same little town in the Dominican Republic. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Roberts off second base. Fighting him off, and a pitch down low. At bat here by Avery, where trying to earn some more stripes here, showing what he can do in key situations where you got to get on. 2-2.
Boy, what a bonus if he could come up here and give you a little speed and contact. Of course, they want to get him out with a breaking ball, and they probably have one more pitch with the 5-run lead where he'll throw it. That's a 2-2.
2-2 delivery. There it is, and he got him.
Yeah, if you're running 3-2, Lou Marcin's going to put down fastball but 2-2, you still have that extra pitch. If you throw a ball, and this is a good curveball, bottom falls out of it. Xavier trying to catch it. Yeah.
So Roberts still out there at second base with 2 down. Here's Hardy. Hardy's had an 0 for 3, couple of hits in 12 at bats in the series. Home run, 3 RBIs. And the pitch will be taken up high for a ball. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning. The Indians doubling up on the Orioles 10-5. More than double in the hits, 16-7. Little breeze picking up, blowing out towards center. Ismael Rogers, the 1-0 delivery. Boy, there was a delayed call. Hardy can't believe it. That was a 1-2 strike after it was in the glove.
It got rhythm.
Crazy rhythm. 2 for 6 to the Orioles. Runners in scoring position today, but Showalter couldn't believe it.
Well, there have been a lot of letter high strikes, and
had to go after that 1 and 2.
But Gary, I'm telling you, I did pitch for a while. That's about as good a breaking ball as you can throw. And then you throw in the mid-90s. And they got him for cash.
Yep. And the 1-2 delivery on the way. That's outside. And Matt Laporta was the roster move that was made. I mean, they've been trying desperately to get that big prospect of theirs to the major league level to play regularly, and it just hasn't worked now for a number of years. And Matt Laporta again optioned out in order to make room when Rogers came over in the cash deal from Colorado. Hardy 2-2. Pops it up off the end of the bat. Third base.
Yeah, Rogers right over there just in case he needs any help.
Lopez puts it away. The Orioles no runs, no hits, no errors. One left on after 7. Charitable efforts by ordering the new official Orioles Maryland license plate. Features the popular new cartoon bird. Plate's a great way to show you're a fan and, perhaps more importantly, help out in the Orioles Charitable Foundation. Visit Orioles.com/plates for more information on how to reserve yours. For Ayala, who leads the ball game, here's Kevin Gray.
Yeah, pitched against the Angels earlier in the week. Couple of runs unearned. So I'm not sure he's actually done a nice job of embracing the fact that he's not the closer. Jim Johnson really assumed that role at the end of last season. So again, trying to stay sharp. There have been glimpses where he pitches very well. Lately, it's been a little bit of a struggle. 3 1/3 innings. Again, it's only over 4 appearances, but he has given up 6 runs.
We go to the 8th inning, and Lou Marson already with a single, triple, double, and he has struck out. So a chance at the cycle.
He needs to go deep. He doesn't hit home runs.
Low.
Not very many home runs.
If he gets it, it'll be his first of the year.
Yeah, and again, as we mentioned, he came over in Cliff Lee trade. Take a look right here, and there you go. It's ball's going to come. Watch it hit the wall and go straight up in the air. A little double dribble. Tough play in the corner because there's all kinds of angles. That's one of the quirks.
And he's not going to get it here.
What he does around it. Yeah, he's looking for a cycle.
Greg will walk him. Leadoff batter on here in the 8th inning.
That was another one of Earl Weaver's favorite taboos. Walks. Hated him. Unless it was your team. Then loved him.
And Greg's delivery will be taken down low for a ball, and Wieters will make his way out. Cunningham 0 for 4 in the game with a couple of strikeouts. Chu waiting on deck.
Yeah, I'm sure Matt, who certainly knows the entire pitching staff, that mechanically comes out with a little tip or so. There you go. 5 pitches, 5 balls.
1-0 delivery. And he will get that one in for a strike. And the count goes to 1-1. Oriole fans, not much to cheer about here today. Overall in the ball game, dominated by the Indians. To Jones in center. Cunningham is retired. Marson will go back to first base. Now one down, and that'll bring up Chu at the top of the order. And with 7 strikeouts so far, Joyce, you have won a total of $1,200 from the Maryland Lottery. For your chance to be the Maryland Lottery contestant of the game, play Strike It Rich scratch-offs. Enter your non-winning ticket codes, mdlottery.com/strikeitRich. So Chu trying to keep it perfect. 3 RBIs. He's been on with 3 singles and a home run, 4-hit day for him.
He's never had 5 hits, Gary.
Nope. And a big cut. He's got to run around at first here with 1 out. Chu's upping his average, 292 now. 4 hits in this ball game. That's 8 hits in this series. And he will foul that one back. These Indian hitters are sending their PR people to the record books, trying to figure out all of the numbers being set for career highs today. Here's the 1-2 delivery. Chu will take it, and Greg's pitch misses.
He's up 17 points in this series. And we're not even through the 3rd game.
Amazing.
Yeah, I mean 275 coming in, 292 now, and what they've done is such a great job. And they play the Yankees. Kuroda, who pitched very well, he beats them because Tomlin gives up 2-2-2 the first 3 innings, 6 runs in the first 3. But they played 9 lefties. They can hit the ball by the first baseman into right field with the best of them. And that's what good left-hand hitters can do.
3-2, and he got him. He was ready to go to first base.
Yeah, little cutter. The master of movement, Kevin Gregg. That's what he tries to do, always making it moving. This ball just cut back and get the outside corner. And if Mike Estabrook has been calling a lot of high strikes, this is right around the kneecaps.
So Gregg gets the second out. There are 2 down. And here's Cabrera. He too a big day. 2 RBIs, 3 hits, a walk, and a strikeout. And Cabrera will take the pitch for a strike. Up to 299 on the season for Gregg.
So he's up 10 points in this series. That's with a lot of the bats.
That's hard to do with this deep into the season. For that reason. 0 for 2 lifetime against Gregg for Cabrera. He'll play behind. Betamit will play behind the runner at first, Marson. The 1-1 delivery to him. Foul tipped into the mitt. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Tomorrow afternoon, the Orioles will finish up the homestand in the series. 1 o'clock for O's Extra. 1:30 for the ball game. Ryan Mattis against Justin Masterson. Then the Orioles head out for 3 games in Seattle, 4 in Anaheim. And a check swing and a ball away. 2-2. And got him. So Gregg comes on, gets a couple of strikeouts. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 left on base. We go to the bottom half of the 8th inning with the Indians leading by 5. And Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield will contribute $50 to support the American Heart Association Heart Walk. To date, the Orioles have drawn 221 walks, a total of $11,050. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle. Gary Thorne, Jim Palmer here, and no sooner mentioned by the great Jim Palmer than he comes in from the bullpen.
My cousin Vinny's coming in, who's having a real good year. A couple of years ago, and look at those numbers. Not a lot of walks, not a lot of hits, more strikeouts than innings pitched. You have a lead. It's not a save situation because it's 10-5, but you need outs. And we'll see if he pitches more than one inning.
Pastano on, and Rogers works an inning, a walk and a strikeout. 2 strikeouts for one strikeout for Rogers. Now Pastano will work against Jones. Adam Jones 2 doubles, and he has struck out 4 hits in 12 at bats in the series. Betamit and then Davis will follow here in the bottom of the 8th. Pastano's delivery to him, and that'll be foul back. Orioles 5 runs, 7 hits in the game, couple of errors, but all of the runs earned. The 10 that are up on the board. 5 charged to Evelyn, the starter, 3 2/3, 5 runs, 6 hits. Tommy Hunter, 5 runs, 8 hits, and just an inning and 2/3. Ayala, an inning and 2/3, and a couple of hits and a walk. In the air to right field. Warning track, or close to it. Chu puts it away. Jones retired.
Into the sun field.
It's almost gone. Follow the Orioles with the MLB.com at Bat app. Your iPhone, iPad, Android, BlackBerry, Windows Mobile. Get live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Just text at BAT 31826 or go to Orioles.com for details.
So Vinny Pastano, he goes to Cal State Fullerton. Good baseball school. 20th round, 611th player.
Down to first base, played by Kochman. Benavides.
Yeah, wrong guy. You don't want to be hitting it to him.
So it will be interesting tomorrow. First of all, after the game tonight, there'll be official announcement by the Orioles about Jim Thome being acquired and who went in the deal. We do not know that yet. And then the announcement of who's not going to be here tomorrow in order to open a space for him, and then the lineup that Buck Showalter will be putting out. Be interesting to see how he's going to play this and the questions of what he's going to do as far as the DHs are concerned, because Thome's got to be a DH. He cannot play in the field, as we said, and he himself has said that. So the only thing he's going to do is DH.
Yeah, that, and I suppose he could be a bench player where you give him periodic, not sporadic, but periodic at bats. But then again, Chris Davis is young. You'd like to see what he can do, give him an opportunity. Well, we'll just see how this plays out.
Yeah, and it was today, Buck Showalter, before the ball game, was talking about the value that he sees in having both Andino and Flaherty available, because he says they give me so many options. I try and keep one of them on the bench all the time because they can play so many positions. I can do more things getting into a ball game. That cuts against having them both start in a game, and I guess makes them even more important because now you're going to bring a player over who's diminishes the changes that you can make and things you can do.
Well, you're looking at Ryan Flaherty, and he is a Rule 5 guy. You have to keep him on the roster unless he would go on the disabled list after 90 days. And
that's going to go to short on a shattered bat. Oh, are you kidding? Cabrera made that look like a walk in the park. That was a very tough play, and the side retired in order. Orioles baseball on Masson, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. And by Dodge. See your authorized Dodge dealer and experience a world of performance, design, and fuel efficiency. Schedule a test drive or go to Dodge.com and check out their powerful lineup. So the Oriole pitcher's getting some work in here in the ball game as Lindstrom comes on for Greg, who worked an inning.
Yeah, and he came in and swooped down on a win last night. Came in, one out. Orioles win at 9-8. Just off the disabled list with a tendon that was bothering him in his pitching hand, his middle finger. And I think that Mike Estabrook, the umpire, telling him there is a warning in effect. So if he would think he was pitching in or intentionally throwing the ball at anybody. And he does throw hard. He's a big guy.
Warning came in the 5th inning when Tomlin threw behind J.J. Hardy. And the warning was issued. For no apparent reason was he thrown behind, and for no apparent reason was a warning issued. Nevertheless, and here is Jason Kipnis. Kipnis, RBI, came in a ground ball out in the game. He's still looking for a hit, believe it or not, even though he's played well in the game. Here's the 1-0 delivery to him, and Lindstrom pitch will miss. Looking at the Orioles DH mark with Jim Thome joining the team tomorrow, the Orioles have used 8 different designated hitters this year. The Orioles DHs hitting .260 combined, 10 home runs, 32 RBIs. They're in the middle of the pack when it comes to average, lower part when it comes to home runs and RBIs. 2-ball, 1-strike count on Kipnis. And that pitch will be down low.
Yeah, I was talking to a scouting friend of mine. He said what they like about Kipnis and what you like about all good hitters is how long the bat stays on plane and in the strike zone, which means he's a good contact hitter.
And he certainly starts it out on plane. Laying that bat down across the plate.
Frank Robinson's here. He didn't do it in Baltimore, but he did that. You see a little bit if you look at Albert Pujols from where the bat's kind of parallel to the ground.
Here's the 3-2 delivery and a chopper. That one went off his foot. Foul ball. One thing the Indians do not need is yet another injury. They've been going through their share of those, as has every team. Manny Acta's ball club, their starting catcher, they're trying to keep him off the DL with that back and problem with the ribs. It's kept him out for 3 games here. Carlos Santana is supposed to make the start in the ball game tomorrow. 3-2. And Kipnis goes to short. Hardy, great catch. Can he get him?
Oh, look at that.
Oh, what a nice play.
You know, JJ had some shoulder problems, and I guess last week I said, well, have you been doing some work on your shoulder? He said, well, yeah, I had to, because got a cortisone shot, but watch this arm. Watch him plant himself. This is what Cal did so well. And then just zips it over there. And Kipnis can run. But not fast enough.
Nope. 1 away. Here's Lopez. Career day. As he's had 4 hits, 3 RBIs. Putting his average up to 252. Lopez. 287 hitter in this ballpark. This has been a good yard for him to hit in. He's had 5 home runs here at Camden Yards in his career. 0-2 count on a good pitch by Lindstrom. There's a slow roller. Hardy's been asked to do it the other way this time. Flaherty may have gotten a little too close. It was a bare hand or nothing, or Flaherty actually cuts it off.
Yeah.
But with Lopez's speed, it's a hit.
So
and that's a 5-hit game.
Yeah, first time in his career. 5 times he had 4 hits. And I think, again, Ryan Flaherty doesn't play a lot of third. Thought he could catch it. And if he did, you might have had a chance. I don't think J.J. Hardy, as good as he is, could have thrown him out because the ball was hit so softly, and he's playing not only deep but also playing up the middle.
So a 17-hit attack now for the Indians. 1 on, 1 down, 9th inning. Here is Brantley, who's had a single. He'll take the pitch. We're talking about the Indians' injuries. Lonnie Chisenhall, of course, got hit on the hand the other night. He's on the DL. They called up Jason Donald, who is an infielder playing at AAA. Jason Donald joining the ball club for Maniacta today, so they wouldn't play short. Here's the 1-0 pitch on the way, and that is taken for a strike by Brantley.
Yeah, Jason Donald, another one of the players acquired in the Cliff Lee trade, and he was the guy that hit the ball, I believe, in the Galarraga, the perfect game that wasn't, with Jim Joyce, the umpire, a couple of years ago.
The official announcement on Jim Thome now. The deal with Philadelphia: right-handed pitcher Kyle Simon and catcher Gabriel Lino. They look pretty good in spring training. He's gone. Those two for designated hitter in the deal made today by the Orioles. Thome will come in with the Phillies, having played in 30 games, hitting .242, 5 home runs, 15 RBIs. Here at Camden Yards, 67 career games here with 18 home runs. So Jim Thome will join the Orioles tomorrow in a deal with the Phillies today for 2 minor leaguers. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Brantley goes to the hole. He's got a base hit.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Left-handers just doing a great job. And it's one of the constant things when you're pitching. How do I get him not to hit where nobody's playing? And the breaking ball, the fastball command where you can't get it to the corner allows him to do it.
This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Orioles may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. That's one of those little. Don't you love those commercials where they tell you, get it now, it's free, and then for the next 15 seconds tell you all the reasons why it's not, but you can't understand a word of what they're saying?
I'm with you.
You know?
I am definitely with you.
Swung on and missed. Runners on at first and second base. Been watching too many infomercials, I can tell you that.
You got to work more.
Yeah, I do. Here's Shelley Duncan. Duncan with a home run, his 5th of the year. 1 for 5. It's the old sign at your favorite tavern. Free beer tomorrow. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and that is taken outside, and a 1 ball, 1 strike count.
Actually, I don't think you do. I want you to spend more time at home. Only I say that because Cal, when Earl said it today, I want to apologize for my kids being away all those years.
Yes.
And not being, that was something. And Cal looked at me, Cal Jr. and Cal Ripken Jr. and he said, "Boy, isn't that the truth?" I mean,
that is the truth.
It really is.
There's nothing harder about these professional sports involvement in them than being away from home.
I mean, it's part of the deal. And it's not like you don't get paid well, and it's not like you get the good about yourself, and it's not like you don't get to hang out with good friends and make friends. But there's a lot of other people that do the same thing. All you got to do is travel a lot, and you see them. And then they're not meandering home on Friday night.
No,
they're dragging their stuff. They've been away all week, and all they want is the flight to be on time.
Just get me home. And your chances this day and age aren't good.
Well,
1 ball, 2 strike count. We'll run down. Runners on at first and second.
Unless
you're
on Southwest Airlines.
Well, thank you so much. Here's the 1-2 delivery. And got him.
Yeah, perfect pitch.
On the outside corner.
Shelley, why not another home run? Hit one earlier. This is just a slider, outside corner, or pretty good pitch. Years ago, Gary, I flew Southwest probably 20 years ago, going from like Dallas to Houston. The plane lands. People run off, they put you back on, and I looked at the guy and I said, "Did you use a cattle prodder to get him off and get him on?" And he looked at me and he said, "We don't make any money on the ground."
Point well taken.
Yes, it is. And they do our starting lineup.
Southwest Airlines.
Where bags fly for free.
I mean, your luggage.
Not to mention your luggage.
Oh, boy, we've been working too long. We're thinking.
Bags fly for free, and so does your luggage.
Yeah. I knew that was coming. 18 hits.
Henny Youngman, where are you when we need you? A 1-ball, 1-strike count on Kochman, 2 down. Ninth inning, runners at first and second. The Indians have put up their 2 high hit nights in succession here in Baltimore. That one's down the line and curving foul. 16 last night was their season high, so they've done 2 better so far in this game. They've got 18. The most runs they've had in a ball game, 15. It's no, that's not right. That was the date. 13. 13 in a game.
And Casey Kochman says, you know, I've been catching all these balls down at first. I'd like to join the party. He does not have a hit on the afternoon yet.
No. Oh, another one off that wrist area.
Well, yeah, any time, and we saw it with Lonnie Chisenhall. You don't see well at this time of the day. You got a hard thrower. You got a couple of strikes. You're trying to cover the outside corner, and the ball sails up and in. And you hate to get the ball in that area because it's by the head. And then you got to pitch in to be effective. But
and obviously, even though the warning had been issued, home plate umpire Mike Estabrook finding no intent here.
Yeah, it really just kind of nicks him. I thought it got him worse.
I did too. It sounded worse. But fortunately, it looks like he is all right, so to speak. Bases are loaded again. Here in the 9th inning, Sachs fold. And here's Marson, another career day, still looking for the homer to have the cycle. And the pitch is in there for a strike.
If you're ever going to hit one, that would have been it.
Marson, single in the 4th inning, a triple in the 5th, and a double in the 6th. He got walked in the 8th.
So he goes up 25 points in one afternoon. There's not a lot of at-bats because he's not the regular catcher at the moment.
And will be in there for a strike. Marson, not a home run hitter. He had 1 last year in 243 at-bats. 3 the year before that with the Indians. Major league wise, only 5 major league home runs. There's the 0-2 delivery to him, and he gets a base hit into right field. Lopez will score. Brantley will stay. Davis gets it in, and Marson gets an RBI, and he's got a 4-hit ball game.
Well, it wasn't the home run, but it was again their game plan. The amount of pitches they've gotten to hit. I mean, that obviously helps, but again, you just have to put good swings on the ball, and very much like the Angels in the 2 games earlier in the week, Tuesday and Wednesday, they were been able to do that.
Base is still loaded, 2 down. Here's Aaron Cunningham, and Cunningham will take it for a strike. A very long afternoon for the Orioles. 11 runs on 19 hits for the Indians after they picked up 8 runs on 16 hits last night. Strike taken. Cunningham now with the 0-2 count. Orioles have given up as many as 14 runs in a game this year, so that is not a high. The 19 hits does equal the high, though, in a ball game picked up by Texas against the Orioles.
I believe that was the game that Josh Hamilton hit the 4 home runs.
Yes. 0-2 count, 2 down. Cunningham listed in the air to center field. Jones going back. He's got it lined up and will put it away. Another run in the 9th inning. Bases are left loaded. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Indians up 11-5.
with those extra post-game birds coming up in the bottom of the ninth inning. And some excitement during the game. The Orioles announced a trade. They've acquired Jim Thome from the Phillies. He'll be here tomorrow.
I think that's great news. I think what this ball club really needs is a veteran influence, somebody who's been there to the finish line, somebody who has done something offensively. And I think the Orioles, after today's performance of 19 hits, they need something in there.
So bottom of the ninth coming up. Stay with us. We'll be back after the game. For now, back upstairs to Gary and Jim.
All right, Jim and Rick will have more on the trade coming up after the ball game, along with the look at this one. And right now it's been all Indians as it is 11-5. And here's Tony Sipp.
Well, we told you again that ERA will go sky high when you give up 9 runs in your last 9 innings pitched, or 9 1/3. It wasn't too good before, 540 to 660, but you know, again, the Indians appear they're going to win this game, so they'll be 39-38, and they're only going to be 2 games in the loss column behind Chicago. So if Tony Sipp gets his act together like he has in years past, all of a sudden your bullpen gets a little bit better. Last year, 69 games, 6-3, ERA of a couple of ticks over 3 runs a game.
And let's update you on the voting for the AT&T Player of the Game. There are the results so far. Text in your vote, A, B, or C, 31826. Results on the O's Extra Post Game Show. Bottom of the 9th inning. Van Wieters against Sipp. RBI for Matt today in a fielder's choice. He's 0 for 3. Couple of hits, 10 at-bats in the series. He's had 4 RBIs in the 3 games. And a rainmaker to left. Cunningham. Our PNC Minor League Report brought to you by PNC for the achiever in you. Take a look. Torsten Boss, the outfielder. He was an 8th-round draft pick out of Michigan State. Last 10 games with Aberdeen in the short season, hitting .324. Couple of home runs, 5 RBIs. A little running there with a couple of stolen bases. 6 extra base hits for him as he begins his pro career. That'll bring up Mike Reynolds. Reynolds walked, scored, has struck out and grounded out. The Orioles were within 1 run in the 4th inning. They trailed 5-1. Chris Davis hit a 3-run homer and made it 5-4. The Indians came right back in the 5th inning and got 3 runs and then just kept extending the lead. 0-1 delivery, swung through on that one, couldn't hold back, and the count goes to 0-2.
Yeah, the bullpen has been so good, and came in with a 2.46 ERA, first in the American League, so that number will go up. But not as it will go up, it also didn't keep them in the game, and we've just seen that through the first 7 games, able to do that. Couldn't do it today.
So 2 down in the 9th inning. Pierce is going to pinch hit for Flaherty. Give him an at-bat with 2 away. The Orioles have not had a hit since the 6th inning of the game, while the Indians put 2 more up in their 6th, another one in the 9th, with those middle innings, 3 in the 4th, 3 in the 5th. Help put the game away. 2 down. Pierce will take it for a strike. Josh Tomlin's going to get the win. He'll be 4-5. Evelyn will take the loss in his 2nd start of the year. He is 0-1, or will be. Steve Pierce, the 0-1 delivery to him, and that's outside. Sipp with a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Out and away, 2-ball, 1-strike count. Indians trying to get their road record back up again. They are 18-20 right now on the road. The reverse at home. 500 baseball, 38-38 coming into the ball game. 2-1 delivery, and that's a strike. This will be just their 9th win in their last 18 games away. Matt Wieters, we would expect, will get the day off tomorrow as a regular behind the plate.
Or if anything, he'd probably be the DH.
Yeah.
Even though you might have Tony.
Fouled away. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. A loss here. The Indians will have a 2-1 lead in the 4-game set. And the Orioles will have a chance to even it up in the ball game tomorrow.
Well, you saw J.J. Hardy again. It easily could have been a little bit better base running, 6 runs. And I always thought in games they got me 6 runs, boy, we ought to win.
That one in the air to right field, sending Chu back near the wall. He's got it, and that's the ball game. Side retired in order by Sipp, and the Indians come away with the 11-5 win. Their biggest output hit-wise with 19.